Chapter 1924. No, we can give you some pills, spiritual herbs, or secret manuals. Anything you need. The monk tried to use other methods to get the whirling prayer beads back. Forget it then. I have those things. I don't lack them. Xiaoping said it out loud. The monks were speechless. They recalled what had happened at the auction. This kid had obtained 9 sage herbs in that auction alone. He really didn't lack them. Now, this kid was much richer than them. Of course, to the Buddhist sect, this wasn't much. The problem was that they couldn't bear to pay such a huge price to get a low-grade sage artifact back. Benefactor, this whirling prayer beads is a sage artifact of the Buddhist sect. There's a sage's spiritual will inside, and you won't be able to refine it. Why don't you return it to us? It's the best of both worlds. There's no need. I have my ways. Xiaoping waved his hand. Hearing this, many of the eminent monks looked at Xiaoping deeply, as if they were deep in thought. All right, since that's the case, we'll take our leave. The Buddhist powerhouse did not continue to pester him and immediately left. The other monks followed suit. Wu Wudi, hurry up and hand over our angel race's glory scepter. Do you know how serious a crime it is to snatch our sage artifact? Do you want to die and have your entire race destroyed? At this moment, a group of angels charged over aggressively, as though they were going to punish him. Whoosh! Xiaoping ignored them and went offline. He couldn't be bothered to talk nonsense. Astra starred, he ran. He actually ran. How dare he run? Is he ignoring us? The group of angels was furious. Their faces were flushed red and their bodies were trembling. This kid had chatted with the group of monks before, but when it was their turn, he didn't even talk and just left. He was ignoring them. This kid must be afraid and feeling guilty. That's why he ran. That's right. This is enough to prove our angel race's reputation in the universe. But that kid has run away. What about our clan's mid-grade saint artifact, the Glory Scepter? That's right. That guy's concealment skills are top-notch. Until now, no one has been able to track him down. We can only ask our race's saint-level angel to take action and use time reversal. We'll definitely be able to find traces of him. He's dead. The human is dead for sure. No one can get away scot-free after offending my angel race. Even if he escapes to the ends of the universe, he will still be caught, and his bones will be ground to ashes. The angels gritted their teeth and emitted a murderous aura. In the distance, a group of eminent monks also saw this scene. Their expressions were calm as they chatted idly. As expected, what Buddha said is true. Wu Wudi really refined the whirling prayer beads and destroyed the sage's will inside, said the monk in the yellow kasaya. That Wu Wudi actually has this kind of ability. That's the will of a saint. Who can break it unless they're at the level of a saint? Does he have the support of a saint? An eminent monk said solemnly. He must have the support of a saint. Otherwise, how could he be so unbridled? Indeed, moreover, his martial arts heritage, martial arts divine abilities, and even his martial arts foundation would not have reached such a level without the nurturing of a great power. That means that the kid might be the heir of a human saint-level sect or an ancient family clan. Not necessarily. He might be an unknown disciple. After all, there are many humans who know how to hide their abilities. But if that's the case, the scope of this matter will be much larger. Buddha has already given us instructions. There's no need to be too obsessed with this matter. Perhaps the loss of this holy relic is something that is fated to happen to us Buddhists. If fate allows it, it will return sooner or later. Indeed, cause and effect. There must be consequences for every cause. Sometimes, losing something isn't necessarily a bad thing. As expected of the Buddha, his realm is too high. We still can't see through it, but the Buddha has. Then let's wait and see. That Wu Wudi will reveal his identity sooner or later. Even if the real cone nail is hiding in a sack, she will come out. There's no way to hide it. The Buddhist monks discussed among themselves and came to a decision. At this moment, in a certain universe's mystic realm where the Archaic Alliance was located, this was also the headquarters of many primordial species. Reported Elder, something big has happened. A primordial species returned to report. This time, Many primordial species entered the Heaven's fortune map and were captured by a human called Wu-Woody. We don't know if they're dead or alive. Among them are the Fae, Crowed Demon Bird, Amethyst Tiger, Nine-Headed Lion, Void Butterfly, Golden Ant, and many others. They are all elites of the primordial species. This news immediately shook the entire Archaic Alliance. The Archaic Alliance was usually a loose organization that did not interfere with each other and was very free. However, there were two taboos that cannot be touched. One was to massacre primordial species, and the other was to capture primordial species as slaves. No matter which of these two taboos was touched, it would alarm the upper echelons of the Archaic Alliance and incur the wrath of countless primordial species. This was a dragon's reverse scale. How audacious! Does the human want to break the alliance with the Archaic Alliance? How dare he do such a thing? An elder of the primordial species flew into a rage. Elder, the human Wu-Woody is a demon. It's said that he's also a traitor. Not only does he kill primordial species, but he also kills humans. He's committed all sorts of evil. There was a primordial species. The group of elders was speechless. If even the human wanted to kill him, how could they denounce him for his crimes? Cut the crap. Where's that Wu-Woody? Capture him immediately and tear him to pieces. What are we waiting for? An elder cursed. He was very irritable. Elder, we also want to capture him, but he's like a loach. We can't find his exact location. Not even the human race can find him, let alone us. The primordial species said helplessly, "There's such a thing." Immediately, the elders were speechless. If even the human race could not find Wu-Woody's location, then how could they, the rare primordial species, find him? After all, the universe was too big. Even a sage could not see everything. Let me do it. How dare he capture a primordial species as a slave? This is a taboo. No matter who he is, he must die. Suddenly, a voice rang out, covering the entire Archaic Alliance. It buzzed and shook the blood of the primordial species. They almost coughed up blood and almost prostrated themselves from the pressure. A ferocious beast appeared in front of the primordial species. It looked like a lion with a pair of wings on its back. Its fur was like that of a porcupine, and it emitted a terrifying aura. It was as if this aura alone could kill countless lives on countless planets. Qiongqi. Ancestor Qiongqi. The primordial species were all shocked. They did not expect this matter to alarm one of the Archaic Alliance's ancestors. This was a true top boss, a saint-level existence. Chapter 1925. A day later. Western Universe, Dragonwood Planet. This was the place where Xiaping had once appeared. At this moment, a few uninvited guests had arrived on this famous planet. They were Sacred Angel Luo Qi, Archaic Alliance Patriarch Qiongqi, and Buddhist Supremacy Inchuo Dehui. They were all top sages and possessed strength far beyond that of ordinary sages. They stood in the depths of the void, as if they were independent of the universe. All the living beings on Dragonwood Planet and the spaceships that passed by could not detect their existence. It was as if they were creatures of a different dimension. As long as they wanted to, these mortals could not detect them at all. I didn't expect this to alarm Supremacy, Inchuo Dehui, and Sacred Angel Luo Qi. Were your people captured and killed as well? Qiongqi narrowed his eyes and stared at the two sages. He thought that he was the only one who would choose to attack. He did not expect to encounter two existences of the same level here. It's not as simple as killing them. Wu-Woody stole our sacred artifact, the Glory Scepter. He's the mortal enemy of the angels. Even if he escapes to the ends of the earth, he won't be able to escape the judgment of the Lord. Sacred Angel Luo Qi said lightly, "I'm just curious." Supremacy Inchuo Dehui smiled and revealed a benevolent expression. It was as if nothing in this universe could move him. Even if it was a murderer who was numb to killing, upon coming into contact with this aura, they would be enlightened and put down their butcher knives. The human Wu-Woody captured many primordial species of the Archaic Alliance. He's the mortal enemy of the Archaic Alliance. He should be captured by me. Otherwise, don't blame me for being rude. Xiongqi snorted and emitted a violent, murderous aura that affected the void. It was as if dozens of light years were affected. The glory of the Lord cannot be blasphemed. Whoever dares to stop the judgment of the sinner who blasphemes the Lord will be an enemy and will be killed without mercy. Sacred Angel Luo Qi was expressionless. Holy light surged from his body as if he could easily tear the void apart. He was equally matched with Xiongqi's murderous aura and was not at a disadvantage. The two of you, peace is precious. We haven't found Wu Wuti yet, so why fight? Perhaps you won't even be able to find a trace of him. Sage Inshuo Dehui waved his hand, and an invisible harmonious power spread out, instantly suppressing Xiongqi and Luo Qi's power, turning it into nothingness. Xiongqi narrowed his eyes and looked at Inshuo Dehui with a little fear. He sneered and said, "He's just a little mortal. How can I not find him? You think too highly of him." It did not believe the words of Inshuo, the wise sage, at all. Under the glory of the Lord, all sins have nowhere to hide. Saint Angel Luo Qi said lightly. "Since you don't believe me, you can give it a try," said Inshuo Dehui. Holy Angel Luo Qi looked at Inshuo Dehui, the venerable, and didn't waste any time. He pointed his finger and said, "Holy light illumination, time reversal." Rumble. Instantly, ripples appeared in the air, as if it had turned into the surface of a mirror. And this mirror seemed to reflect the heavens. Everything that happened near Dragon would star form a picture. As Holy Angel Luo Qi moved his finger, the picture kept rewinding. Everything that happened in this place would be revealed under this mirror. He actually comprehended the law of time to such a level. Xiongqi narrowed his eyes and stared at Holy Angel Luo Qi. He immediately felt that the threat level of this holy angel had greatly increased. "It's just a small trick. I merely comprehended a little bit of the power of time. I can only affect the flow of time around my body. I can't compare to the Lord," Holy Angel Luo Qi said lightly. However, his hands did not stop moving. The picture kept rewinding. Finally, it reached the time when Xia Ping arrived at Dragon Woodstar on a spaceship. But when he saw the picture, the originally expressionless Luo Qi was immediately moved. He couldn't believe what his eyes were seeing. This was because the picture was blurry, as if there was a mosaic on it. Space was distorted, and even the original appearance of the spaceship could not be seen clearly. All that was left was a blurry ball of light. Even when Xia Ping entered Dragonwood Star and appeared inside the planet, his figure was still blurry, and his appearance could not be seen clearly. It was as if his existence had been erased from this space-time by an inexplicable force. How is this possible? I can't see his appearance clearly? His body seems to be protected by a mysterious and powerful force that can distort time. What treasure does he have on him? He's just a mortal, yet he has such abilities. Holy Angel Luo Qi's expression was ferocious, and he was extremely angry. Because even time reversal could not find any traces of Wu Wuti, it meant that the Lord's glory could not be restored. It meant that the heretic who insulted the angels was still unpunished, and the angels could not do anything to him. "I can't find him." Xiongqi was also shocked. He had thought that finding Wu Wuti would be a simple matter. If a saint wanted to kill a mortal, it would be a matter of a thought. But now things were a little troublesome. That kid had a huge secret on him. He could actually distort the laws of time. Even Saint Time Reversal could not track him. Supremacy Inshuo Dahui, do you know something? Could it be that you erased that scene of time? Holy Angel Luo Qi turned and stared at Supremacy Inshuo Dahui. He felt that it might be this bald donkey's doing. This penniless monk doesn't know anything. In fact, this penniless monk is just as curious as you are. Perhaps that Wu Wuti has a terrifying existence protecting him, so we can't act rashly. Supremacy Inshuo Dehe smiled slightly, as if he was hinting at something. What? Hearing this, Holy Angel narrowed his eyes. He felt that this sentence contained boundless information. If that Wu Wuti was just a chess piece with a terrifying existence supporting him, then the purpose behind this matter had to be considered. Therefore, the purpose behind this matter had to be considered. Perhaps it was directly aimed at the angel race. There was a huge conspiracy shrouding the angel race. When fighting against such a terrifying existence, one had to be extremely careful. Otherwise, one's entire race would be wiped out. He felt that he had to report this matter to the Lord and carefully investigate the enemies of the angels. He could not be tricked for no reason. Whoosh! Holy Angel Luo Chi's figure flashed. Without saying anything, he immediately left the void. Bald donkey, do you really not know anything? Xiongqi was still a little suspicious of supremacy in Shuo De. So what if I know? So what if I don't know? Supremacy in Shuo De said this and left. Damn bald donkey, you only know how to say ambiguous things all day. Will it kill you to say it clearly? Xiongqi was furious. He also understood what supremacy in Shuo De meant. Not to mention that he did not know what was behind this matter. Even if he did know and was unwilling to say it, Xiongqi could not do anything to supremacy in Shuo De. However, he was also unwilling to give up. He went to a few more places where Wu Wudi had appeared and used time reversal. However, there were still no results. He could not find anything. Chapter 1926. Another day passed. Xiaoping boarded the stars and finally returned to Qinquan Star. Junior brother Xia, you're finally back. Your gains in the All Heavens creation map weren't bad, right? As soon as he returned to Qinquan Star, Sect Master Zhu Xian and the others came out to welcome him with a smile. It's all right. I had a small fortuitous encounter. Xiaoping said modestly. A small fortuitous encounter. Sect Master Zhu Xian and the others' mouths twitched. They recalled Xiaoping's many fortuitous encounters and his rapid cultivation speed. No matter how they looked at it, it wasn't as simple as a small fortuitous encounter. On closer inspection, this kid seemed to have broken through to the mid-stage transcendence realm. It hadn't been long since he reached the early-stage transcendence realm, but now he had advanced again. Such a breakthrough speed was simply terrifying. Even flying a spacecraft couldn't be this fast. At the thought of this, they were extremely depressed. Although they were very safe in the All Heavens creation map and didn't have many casualties and didn't encounter Wu Wudi, they didn't obtain many treasures. However, he didn't obtain too many treasures. It could only be considered a small harvest. They had wanted to participate in the auction and obtain a creation pill, but they were rejected by Wu Wudi, saying that humans couldn't enter. In the end, they didn't obtain any benefits. The operation this time was purely a waste of a few months' time. Compared to Xiaoping, they felt as if they had lived their lives in vain. Xiaoping felt that this might be a good thing. If some Qinquan sect elders obtained elixirs from the All Heavens creation map, they would really have to be vigilant. By the way, I actually need your help with something this time. Sect Master Zhu Xian went straight to the point. What is it? Xiaoping asked. In another month, there will be a trial for new disciples. It's a trial you experienced before. You'll enter the Abyss world to hunt abyssal demons, Sect Master Zhu Xian said solemnly. Now that you're a Transcendence Realm Almighty, equivalent to a Qinquan sect elder, you have the qualifications and obligation to assist Qinquan sect disciples. Qinquan sect elder. Xiaoping was stunned. He felt that things had changed too quickly. Previously, he was just a disciple and had to be inspected by many elders. He had to participate in the various trial missions arranged by the sect. But in the blink of an eye, he had become an elder and was responsible for presiding over the trial missions. This change in role made him feel like time had changed. It turned out that unknowingly, he had already grown to such a level. He was no longer a newbie, but an existence at the level of a big shot, having the power to decide the life and death of others. Could it be the abyssal demon seal that I entered last time? Xiaoping said, No, it's another place. Because of the chaos caused by the abyssal demons, the great array that you entered was damaged. It is still in a state of repair and cannot be used within 100 years. Sect Master Zhu Xian said in a deep voice, Therefore, our sect have decided to go to another place where the demons are sealed in the abyss. Anyway, there are many such places in the universe. He explained to Xiaoping. But aren't I going to the holy land of Taichu in the central universe? I'm afraid I don't have the time to preside over this work. Xiaoping raised his doubts. You don't have to worry about that. The trip to the central cosmos is in 3 months. When that time comes, all the people who pass the test in the entire eastern cosmos will gather together. I hope you don't miss the time. Once you do, you will lose the qualification to enter the central cosmos and join the Holy Land of Taichu. That's right. After all, not everyone can join the Holy Land of Taichu. As someone from the barbarian land, you should feel honored to have the opportunity to join. Just then, a voice came from afar, penetrating the sea of consciousness like a morning bell and evening drum. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. In an instant, a group of figures quickly descended from afar. There were more than a dozen people standing on the square, all dressed in white and looking elegant. They were condescending, very arrogant, and their eyes revealed arrogance. Who are you? Xiaoping narrowed his eyes. He could see that this group of people were not disciples of the Qinquan sect. The Holy Land of Taichu. The group of disciples in white had arrogant looks on their faces. They identified themselves as disciples of the Holy Land of Taichu. They looked at the people of the Qinquan sect as if they were looking at country bumpkins. Some people frowned slightly, as if they were not used to the air here. Zhu Xian and the others were very calm. They had long known that this group of disciples of the Holy Land of Taichu had entered the Qinquan star. In fact, this group of disciples of the Holy Land of Taichu came here to visit Feng Xingyu, Zhang Haodong, and Meng Zhenxuan, who were seriously injured. I see. So you're the disciples of the Holy Land of Taichu who were beaten up by Wu Wudi and almost had their divine artifacts taken away. I've heard a lot about you. Xiaoping suddenly understood. What? Hearing these words, the faces of this group of disciples of the Holy Land of Taichu turned green. This bastard really touched their sore spot. Saying such a thing was simply a slap in the face. He did not give them any face at all. Zhu Xian and the others also twitched the corners of their mouths. They also knew Xiaoping's character. He would rather break than bend, but they did not expect to humiliate this group of disciples of the Holy Land of Taichu in public. Xiaoping, what are you talking about? What do you mean by looking for your teeth and peeing in the face? You have no idea how terrifying that demon Wu Wudi is. I have a feeling that maybe he is not a human at all, but a great demon from the abyss. A disciple of the Holy Land of Taichu shouted. In order to save himself, he decided to make up a story, rendering Wu Wudi as a terrifying demon, so that they would have a reason for their failure. Is there such a thing? Why did I hear that Wu Wudi is a human, and only in the Dharma plane? But you were beaten to a pulp even with divine artifacts in your hands. Even if a group of people besieged you, you were instantly defeated. When I heard this news, I was so shocked that my jaw dropped. How can the disciples of the Holy Land of Taichu be so weak? I wonder if they're all fake and got in through connections. Xiaoping said that he had heard a lot of gossip. He looked at this group of disciples of the Holy Land of Taichu a little suspiciously. He felt that the Holy Land of Taichu might be too big, with a long history and complicated relationships. It was not surprising that some people got in through the back door. Bullish asterisk T. We all came in with real strength. Why would we need to go through the back door? What are you looking at? What's with that look in your eyes? Are you suspecting that we are all fake? The group of disciples of the Holy Land of Taichu was flustered and exasperated. Because of the failure in the creation map of heavens, their reputation had been tarnished to such an extent that even a barbarian began to doubt the strength of the disciples of the Holy Land of Taichu. They also hated Wu Wudi to the extreme. If it were not for this bastard, how could this have happened? In fact, after Wu Wudi beat the crap out of the creation map of heavens, the halos of the disciples of the Holy Land of Taichu had disappeared. Many people looked at them differently. They looked at them as if they were on the same level, no longer as respectful as before. After all, this was a real world where strength was respected. Chapter 1927. To tell you the truth, I do have similar thoughts, Xiaoping answered honestly. Xiaoping answered honestly. He felt that he was an honest person and should not hide anything. Zhu Xian and the others were helpless. Wasn't it obvious that he wanted to be beaten up and offend them? That means you despise us disciples from the Holy Land of Taichu. Do you want to spar with us? A group of disciples from the Holy Land of Taichu looked at Xiaoping unkindly. I don't think that's a good idea. What if I hurt you? Will your master come after me? I heard that you have a powerful background, Xiaoping said hesitantly. What are you talking about? You think you can hurt us? Are you kidding me? Do you really think we disciples from the Holy Land of Taichu are as weak as Feng Xingyu, Zhang Haodong, and Meng Zhenxuan? A group of disciples from the Holy Land of Taichu was furious. They had been in the world for such a long time, but they had never heard of anyone who was afraid to fight with them and was afraid of injuring them. Just how arrogant was this brat from the wilderness? Did he think they were all weak because he defeated Feng Xingyu, Zhang Haodong, and Meng Zhenxuan and heard that the Holy Land of Taichu was beaten by Wu Wudi? Come on, let's spar. I won't leave until I show you what the disciples from the Holy Land of Taichu are capable of. A disciple of the Holy Land of Taichu stared at Xiaoping fiercely. You don't have to worry about hurting me. It's just a spar. As long as I don't die, there will be no problem. He couldn't stand this kid for even a second. If he didn't see the power of the Holy Land of Taichu, this savage kid wouldn't know how terrifying the Central Universe was. Many disciples from the Holy Land of Taichu were also eager to try. They felt that this was related to the reputation of the Holy Land of Taichu, and they must restore it today. Okay, since you want to spar, I'll try not to use too much force. I won't cripple you so that you won't complain. Xiaoping agreed after thinking about it and said sincerely. He stood with his hands behind his back, showing the temperament of a master, as if he was instructing a disciple. Screw you. I like to see how you can cripple me. In an instant, a disciple of the Holy Land of Taichu at the peak of the Transcendence realm immediately flew out. When he saw Xiaoping like this, he was furious. Xiaoping actually dared to look down on him like this. He decided to immediately use his strongest divine ability and beat the crap out of this brat. Martial path, mystical ability, kingly killing fist. Boom! In an instant, a Dharma idol of heaven and earth surged out from his body. It was 100 meters tall and humanoid, with a crown on its head and a dragon robe on its body. It was barehanded, as if it was an unparalleled king from ancient times, exuding a kingly, domineering aura. The entire space seemed to be trembling from such an aura. The earth shook and rumbled. When the surrounding Chinquan sect elders sensed this aura, all of their hair stood on end. They retreated several hundred miles in order to avoid being affected by the shock waves of this battle. They had to admit that this disciple from the Holy Land of Taichu was indeed extraordinary. His Dharma power and divine powers were far beyond that of ordinary Dharma plane cultivators. His combat power was unbelievably strong. It was only because they had encountered a monster among monsters like Wu Wudi that they ended up in such a sorry state. However, if he encountered an ordinary person, he would immediately show an overwhelming advantage. The elders from the Chinquan sect were no match for him at all. Dong, dong, dong. Within a breath's time, this king charged towards Xiaoping. Thousands of fist prints appeared in the depths of the void, containing the killing intent of the kingly way, piercing through the sky. It was as if every punch contained the majesty of a king, exuding an aura that said the king wanted the subject to die, and the subject had no choice but to die. It exuded an unstoppable momentum of the kingly way. This was an extremely powerful kingly way divine ability from the Holy Land of Taichu. It contained the great path of a dynasty that had existed for thousands of years. It was an unparalleled divine ability created by a supreme emperor. Once cultivated, the aura would be terrifying. With one punch, the enemy would be instantly intimidated and killed on the spot. This was the kingly way, and it could not be stopped at all. At this moment, Xiaoping made his move. He gently pointed a finger forward. However, this finger was extremely terrifying. It contained the vast and majestic Dharma power in his body, compressed into a single point. It was like a finger of a giant that could pierce through everything. This finger appeared from the depths of the void and pressed down fiercely. Dong! Immediately, thousands of fist prints of the kingly way were torn apart and shattered. Like a peerless sword, all the aura was cut clean and completely turned into powder. No matter how old the dynasty was, no matter how much kingly way divine aura it contained, it was of no use. Even a king was only one person after all. When an ordinary man was angry, blood would splash 3 feet away. Within 10 steps, a person could rival a country. Suddenly, the disciple from the Holy Land of Taichu let out a shrill scream. His entire body was hit by this finger, and his body was instantly sent flying hundreds of kilometers away. He scraped across the ground, leaving a terrible crack. At the same time, his body was also filled with violent energy, which was wildly destroying his internal organs. Hundreds of bones were shaken and cracked. This kind of pain caused him to cry out loudly, as if he had been subjected to the most extreme torture. Even the Dharma power in his body could not be operated, and he lost all his combat effectiveness. He looked at Xia Ping with extreme horror. He could not believe that his kingly way killing fist was so vulnerable. Junior brotherly, many disciples from the Holy Land of Taichu could not help but exclaim when they saw this scene. Their pupils shrank. They never thought that such a thing would happen, because Junior brotherly was defeated too quickly. Before he could display much of the mystery of the kingly way killing fist, he was actually defeated by a finger. Such a gap was incredible. This was no longer a small gap, but a huge chasm. Is there anyone else? Is there any other disciple from the Holy Land of Taichu who wants to compete with me? Brotherly is too weak. He can't even withstand a finger of mine. How on earth did he cultivate? Xiaoping shouted in a voice that could make people die. Xiaoping, don't be so arrogant. I'll fight you. Hearing these words, 3 or 4 disciples from the Holy Land of Taichu at the peak of the Dharma Law's realm were furious and wanted to immediately attack. Xiaoping turned around and did not make a move. He glanced at the 4 disciples from the Holy Land of Taichu indifferently, and a terrifying divine spirit burst out from the depths of his golden crow hell, like a storm, destroying everything. The 4 disciples from the Holy Land of Taichu had no idea what was going on. They just felt that before they took a step forward, the whole world had darkened, and the world was spinning. Dong dong dong. Chapter 1928. How is this possible? Just one look and you fainted? What a terrifying divine sense. Is this really the mental strength of a transcendence realm cultivator? Not even a thunder retribution realm cultivator. Monster, this is a peerless monster. Even in the Holy Land of Taichu, he would be a peerless genius. Seeing the 4 disciples of the Holy Land of Taichu pass out after just one glance from Xiaoping, the remaining disciples of the Holy Land of Taichu in the Thunder Tribulation Realm were so scared that their pupils contracted. Such a scene was too unbelievable. They immediately felt a great threat from Xiaoping, like sheep encountering a tiger. It seemed that if the other party wanted to, he could kill them. However, they did not dare to believe that a junior in the Transcendence Realm would be able to kill them. Although his cultivation speed was godly, there was an entire realm difference between them. But thinking about it, it was not difficult to understand that the monster Wu Wudi had appeared before, and now there was Xiaoping. After all, the universe was too big, and there were countless monsters. Even if they lived in the central universe and enjoyed the most abundant resources, it did not mean that they were really invincible. How can the disciples of the Holy Land of Taichu be so weak? Is it not because they are too weak, but because I am too strong? I didn't expect that I would be so strong that I can't find a match for my peers. The only one who can match me is probably that Wu Wudi. Xiaoping stood with his hands behind his back and said with a sigh, at present, it seemed that the only one who could defeat him was himself. It was lonely to be a master. Sect Master Zhu Xian and the others twitched their mouths. This guy was too narcissistic. How could anyone praise themselves like this? He was too shameless. But when they thought about it carefully, it seemed that among the young masters they knew, there was really no one who could match Xiaoping. They couldn't think of anyone at all. This bastard. The faces of the disciples of the Holy Land of Taichu turned green. Lonely to be a master? This was simply stepping on the corpses of the disciples of the Holy Land of Taichu. He really deserved a beating. By the way, senior brothers, do you want to compete with me too? Xiaoping blinked his eyes and looked at the remaining Thunder Retribution Realm disciples of the Holy Land of Taichu with a pure face. No, 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 no. We are in the Thunder Retribution Realm, and you are in the Transcendence Realm. The gap is too big. That's right. Fighting with you is an unfair victory. If word of this gets out, others will think that we're bullying the weak. That's right. Since you've defeated our junior brothers, it's enough to prove your strength. You're fully qualified to enter the Holy Land of Taichu. There's no need to compete anymore. Hearing this, several Thunder Tribulation Realm disciples of the Holy Land of Taichu hurriedly said, refusing to look down on Xiaoping. They were feeling very guilty. Although they were confident in their own strength, it was better to be safe than sorry. If this bastard was a monster comparable to Wu Wudi, then they would be beaten to a pulp in the battle. If this news got out, wouldn't they become a laughingstock? At that time, this brat would become famous, and they would become the stepping stones for this brat to become famous. Such a stupid thing could never be done, and there would be no benefits. Really? Let's exchange some pointers. Anyway, it's just for entertainment. I also want to ask you senior brothers about your martial arts. I hope that you can give me some pointers so that I can learn a lot from you. Xiaoping chased after him relentlessly. F***CK, give it pointers? Do you want to ask for pointers with such an attitude? Such an expression clearly showed that he was eager to trying to defeat them, stepping on their reputation, and trying to make a name for himself. What a sinister and vicious bastard. A group of disciples of the Holy Land of Taichu gritted their teeth. Looking at Xiaoping's pure smile, they wanted to punch him. No, there's no need. In fact, we were seriously injured in the battle with the peerless demon in the creation map of heavens. We haven't recovered yet, so we're not fit to fight in a short time. Yes, we can't fight for the time being. We appreciate junior brother Xia's kindness. By the way, we seem to have something else to do, so we won't bother you anymore. Goodbye. The group of disciples of the Holy Land of Taichu hurriedly made excuses and tried to leave. Why are you in such a hurry? Senior brothers, you came in a hurry. Didn't you bring any gifts? No greeting gifts? Xiaoping blinked his eyes and looked at these disciples of the Holy Land of Taichu. Extortion. This bastard is extortion. The group of disciples of the Holy Land of Taichu was furious. This bastard was clearly saying that he wouldn't let them go without some benefits. They had never seen anyone dare to blackmail the Holy Land of Taichu. This Xiaoping was the first. But if they really resisted, they might really have to fight with Xiaoping, and then they would lose all face. Thinking about it carefully, they'd better spend money to avoid disaster. It was their bad luck. Yes, junior brother Xia is right. As senior brothers, we really should give some greeting gifts. This is a bottle of elixir that I often take when I cultivate. It's the 7 Lives mysterious pill from the Holy Land of Taichu. Taking one can enhance one's spiritual power by 100 years. I hope you like it. By the way, this is a bottle of spirit-nourishing elixir, also a top-grade elixir from the Holy Land of Taichu. It can enhance the power of the primordial spirit and has endless benefits. And this is a martial arts secret manual. It's junior brother Li's unique skill, the killing fist of the king. It's also one of the unique skills of the Holy Land of Taichu. I can also give it to junior brother Xia. Many disciples of the Holy Land of Taichu obediently took out their treasures and spent money to avoid disaster. Oh, senior brothers, you're so polite. I didn't want to accept it at first, but since you're so enthusiastic, I don't want it. Since you're so enthusiastic, I'll accept it. Xiaoping said carelessly and unceremoniously took away all these greeting gifts. Seeing these treasures lost, the group of disciples of the Holy Land of Taichu was heartbroken. It was like cutting off their own flesh. This was not a greeting gift. It was clearly a tribute. But since they had already spent money to avoid disaster, they could only accept it. Then they found an excuse to leave. They couldn't stay with such a monster. Otherwise, they didn't know how many more greeting gifts this greedy bastard would extort. They hurriedly carried away the injured junior brothers and quickly left the square. Zhu Xian and the others had extremely strange expressions on their faces. They didn't expect that these arrogant disciples of the Holy Land of Taichu would be so aggrieved in front of Xiaoping. They had to suffer in silence. They were even blackmailed in front of them and asked for greeting gifts. Such a thing was simply unheard of. After all, when these disciples from the Holy Land of Taichu came to many sects, they were flattered and given gifts. There was no reason for them to give gifts to others. If the news got out, it would definitely shock the Eastern universe. Sect leader, I still have something to do, so I'll go back to Yanhuang Peak first. Inform me when the trial begins. Xiaoping also said goodbye. He left contentedly. Okay. Chapter 1929. At this time, on Yanhuang Peak, Xiaoping returned to the space within the mountain river Pearl and went to the place where he usually trained. He took out the purple lightning flower, void grass, 5-element vine, phoenix wood, and other holy medicines. These were all obtained from the auction. Through the universe virtual network, they had already been sent to him. He instantly relaxed. It seemed like the universe virtual network was very reliable. It didn't steal his treasures. Among them, he was most interested in the phoenix wood. This wood was formed from being stained with phoenix blood. It contained dense phoenix power. In truth, the phoenix was also a fire-type mythical creature. It had undying power and could be reborn from ashes. Its blood was very attractive to him. This would seem to be engraved with golden patterns. There seemed to be a phoenix hidden within. It emitted a dense flame power, as though it was about to burn. If a normal person obtained this piece of phoenix wood, they would probably be burned to ashes the moment they came into contact with its aura. After all, this was holy wood. Normal people couldn't even touch it. Preserving it required special methods. As for the other holy medicines, he temporarily planted them in the mountain river Pearl space. He would use them later. Holy medicines were extremely precious. They were non-renewable resources. Every time he used them, he had to be careful. He had to maximize the benefits. Refine. Xiaoping grabbed the piece of phoenix wood. The hell golden crow fire in his body immediately emerged. It transformed into a huge sun furnace in midair. Countless hell golden crow runes appeared in the depths of the furnace, emitting a mystical power. Rumble, immediately, the huge hell golden crow fire burned and covered the piece of phoenix wood. Originally, this piece of phoenix wood was indestructible. Normal methods couldn't damage it at all. However, under the burning of the hell golden crow fire, it actually melted. Yes, it melted, though it should have been burned to ashes. However, it melted. This showed how mystical the phoenix wood was. It definitely wasn't an ordinary treasure. The entire piece of wood was rapidly melted by the hell golden crow fire. In a few breaths' time, it actually turned into a ball of red liquid. It contained divine properties. Phoenix blood. Xiaoping's pupils contracted. He instinctively sensed that this ball of red liquid was the legendary and famous phoenix blood. Ordinary methods would not be able to refine this piece of wood. In fact, after the Thunder Tribulation Realm Monster King obtained the phoenix wood, he tried all kinds of methods, but he couldn't refine it. It couldn't be destroyed, refined, or used. The only thing was that fire-type life forms would be able to cultivate faster in front of this piece of phoenix wood. There were no other benefits. It had clearly obtained such a peerless treasure, but there were no benefits at all. This really angered the Monster King to death. Thus, it decided to sell it in exchange for the Pill of Fortune. After all, no matter how good a treasure was, it would be useless if it couldn't be used. But Xiaoping was different. The Hellfire Golden Crow on his body was the highest level of flame in the universe. Even the phoenix blood couldn't resist it. In the blink of an eye, this piece of phoenix wood was refined. It suffered bloodline suppression and level suppression. Unbelievable! Xiaoping was mesmerized. He felt that this phoenix blood seemed to contain supreme profundities. Countless phoenix runes were contained within, possessing the characteristics of mythical life forms. It was all-encompassing and emitted a powerful vitality. It was as if a phoenix could revive from this ball of blood at any time. It contained a huge amount of phoenix flames. Vaguely, the phantom of a phoenix seemed to appear in this ball of blood. It was as if it was displaying the glory of the primordial era. The space within a radius of thousands of miles trembled and rumbled. It was as if there was a phoenix crying out, causing all the living beings in the space of the Pearl of mountains and rivers to tremble. It was as if they had encountered a terrifying life form that they couldn't resist. Their blood boiled. Devour. Xia Ping didn't say anything else. He immediately swallowed this ball of phoenix blood into his body. It entered the depths of his stomach, where it was refined and purified by the solar furnace, absorbing the purest energy. Whoosh, he felt this ball of phoenix blood turn into the densest flame energy. It surged into his limbs and bones, fusing into the depths of every inch of his blood. It was as if it wanted to corrode his body and change his physique to that of a phoenix. Roar, however, the golden crow of hell in his body felt threatened. It instantly went berserk and was completely enraged. The blood in his body boiled like lava, rapidly condensing into the phantom of the golden crow of hell. Boom! In an instant, the golden crow of hell appeared. It was indomitable, like an unparalleled fiend god. It was incomparably ferocious and swallowed the phoenix in a single gulp. Not even its bones were left behind. The phoenix only left behind a mournful cry, but it soon disappeared, completely digested. Even a legendary phoenix couldn't withstand the ferocious might of the golden crow of hell. In truth, the phoenix was a mythical creature on the same level as the golden crow. However, the golden crow of hell was different. After its death, it absorbed the endless resentment and the source energy of hell, and its life essence underwent a further transformation. It was as if it was the incarnation of death, the god of the underworld that wielded the authority of hell. Hence, the phoenix was no longer a match for the golden crow of hell. It was different from the golden crow of hell. Whoosh, after completely devouring this ball of phoenix blood, Xia Ping felt the cells of the golden crow of hell in his body crazily awakening. A massive amount of flame energy surged in. 1 million, 2 million, 5 million, 7 million, 10 million. He didn't know how much time had passed. When the energy of the phoenix blood was completely digested, Xia Ping felt that 95 million golden crow of hell cells had awakened in his body. He was 5 million golden crow of hell cells away from awakening 100 million golden crow of hell cells. He had a feeling that if he awakened 100 million golden crow of hell cells, his bloodline would undergo a further transformation. At the same time, his heavenly tribulation would descend, and it would be even more terrifying than before. There's still too little phoenix blood. Xia Ping felt that it was a pity. If there was more phoenix blood, he might be able to directly awaken 100 million golden crow of hell cells. However, perhaps this wasn't necessarily a bad thing. After all, once they were awakened, he might encounter heavenly tribulation. At that time, the entire heaven and earth star would be enveloped by heavenly tribulation. It would alarm the elders and disciples of the heaven and earth sect. Some of his secrets might also be exposed. It was better to wait until he was completely prepared before breaking through. Continue my seclusion. Xia Ping sat cross-legged. Although he had devoured the phoenix blood, he still hadn't grasped the explosive power of his body and the energy of the golden crow of hell. Chapter 1930. In another place in the space of the mountain river Pearl, the Fei and the crow demon bird were locked up. Although the two primordial descendants were locked up in a cage, they were eating well and living well. They didn't even exercise these days, so they actually put on a lot of weight. Damn it, what is that bastard Wu Woody doing? He made the ground shake and a miasma fill the air. Can't he let us sleep? The Fei was very angry. It felt like it had been woken up from its sleep, especially when it had a dream where it was intimate with a beautiful female snake. However, at the critical moment, it was woken up by a bird's cry. It was so scared that it thought it was caught in the bed by the other party's husband. Look at you. After being imprisoned for such a long time, you have actually become this decadent. If someone were to see you now, who would believe that you are the famous Fei? Instead, the Fei, an immemorial descendant, has been raised into a house snake. The baleful crow-demonic bird was heartbroken, hating iron for not becoming steel. Brother Crow, don't think that I'm sleeping all day. In fact, I'm not sleeping. I'm thinking about how to escape from this cage. The Fei said seriously. Really? Why do I hear you snoring every day? Are you going to hibernate? The crow demon bird was expressionless. That's my habit of thinking. I like to snore when I'm thinking. When the Fae lied, his face did not blush and his heart did not jump. All right, then tell me what escape plan you've thought of. The crow demon bird didn't want to care so much and directly asked the Fae what escape plan it had. Humph, humph, then I'm all ears. The Fae coughed and said, according to my observation over the past few days, I'm afraid that the place where we are imprisoned is not a planet or a continent in the universe, but a space-type magic treasure. Moreover, it's not an ordinary space-type magic treasure, but a sacred object. That green bull is the device spirit of the sacred object. Do I need you to tell me that? Am I a fool? The crow demon bird said impatiently. It had already noticed this, so it felt that it was difficult to escape, because this spatial magic tool was simply a natural cage. If it couldn't escape from this spatial magic tool, it would never be able to escape from this world. The problem was, wanting to escape from this sacred weapon was practically harder than ascending to the heavens. It's impossible to force our way out. This is a sane artifact. With our strength, there's no way we can escape. Not to mention, there's also that detestable Wu-Woody monitoring us at all times. Faye said seriously, therefore, it's not suitable for us to fight against them. We should choose to obey them for the time being. We should listen to their orders and work hard for them to gain their trust. Oh, go on. The crow, baleful demonic bird, was in awe. It immediately felt that this fat snake did not seem to have been sleeping for nothing these past few days. It still had some knowledge, and it could be useful at critical moments. After gaining their trust, we can't let our guard down. We have to work harder. Every day, we go to work at 9 in the morning and get off work at 6. We're never late or leave early. We don't even need to take vacations. Faye said in an impassioned tone. After that, we can get a sum of money from this place on the 15th of every month. After hundreds of years, or even thousands of years, we can leave this place with our heads held high and our chests held high. In this way, we can guarantee that we can leave without anyone knowing. We can even get a large sum of money from this place. We could get a huge windfall. We can also live here and eat here every day. However, the human bastard Wu-Woody can't do anything to us. He doesn't even know how his money disappeared. In this way, not only can we escape, but we can also take revenge. We can cheat this bastard of a large sum of money and become rich. At this point, it was extremely excited, and its eyes shone with a dazzling light. Bang! At the end, the crow baleful demonic bird's face was as black as charcoal. It slapped the Fae away and slammed it into the wall. It shouted loudly, "Get lost! What kind of bullsh**t idea is this? This is called working." F***ck. It knew that this brainless snake was unreliable, but it didn't expect it to be so unreliable. It actually wanted to work for that profiteer Wu-Woody every day from 9 to 6, just for that meager salary. There was no insurance, no housing, and no holidays. He even bribed it by providing food and shelter. It didn't have the arrogance of a primordial species at all. I knew that you bastard can't be relied on. If I relied on you, I would have died of old age long ago. I've already thought of a way to leave this place. The crow, baleful demonic bird's face was gloomy. As expected of Brother Wu Sha, you're indeed a cunning old fox. Hurry up and tell me what plan you have. The Fae's skin was very thick. The palm just now could not cause any harm to it. When it heard the crow, baleful demonic bird said that there was a way to leave, it immediately jumped up. According to my observation, that humans' internal defense in this magic treasure space is very lax. Perhaps he thinks that he's invincible in this magic treasure space, so he's arrogant and doesn't take us seriously. The crow, baleful demonic bird sneered. It just so happens that we can use this human's arrogance to take revenge on him and force him to let us leave this damn place. It clenched its fists. How do we force him? The Fae asked curiously. It's very simple. We'll first escape from this cage, then go somewhere else and kidnap a senior cadre around this human. We'll use that senior cadre's life as a threat to force Wu-Woody to let us leave. The crow, baleful demonic bird, thought of a series of plans. Great, this plan is simply perfect. However, this cage is very strong. How should we leave? The Fae showed a bitter face. It felt that it had encountered a setback at the first step. Oomph, that green bull is too confident. He thinks that he can stop me from leaving by setting up a spatial cage. He doesn't know that I, the crow, baleful demonic bird, have the black fog supernatural power. The crow, baleful demonic bird, said proudly, "This black fog contains crow, baleful chi. It can corrode everything, even space, and it can pierce through void wormholes. These days, I haven't been doing nothing. When the guards aren't paying attention, I've already secretly made a small passage in this cage. We can escape from this place." "That's amazing, but isn't your magic power sealed? Why can you still use supernatural power?" The Fae asked curiously. What's a small sealing technique? How can it bind me?" Of course, in order not to attract the attention of that bastard green bull, I only slightly cracked the sealing formation and leaked a little power. The crow, baleful demonic bird, said arrogantly. "Then what are we waiting for? Let's run." The Fae shouted. "Don't be so loud. Also, your body is too big. Shrink a little. Are you afraid that others won't notice you?" The crow, baleful demonic bird, warned. "What do you mean? Are you jealous of the height of my Fae clan? Who doesn't know that the bigger the body of my Fae clan, the more handsome we are? Can we attract more beautiful female snakes? I'm a peerless, handsome man of the Fae clan." Chapter 1931. In a forest in the space of the pearl of mountains and rivers, a palm-sized blackbird and a 20-centimeter-long red snake were flying in this huge forest. They were the shrunken crow, demon bird, and Fae. At this time, they had quietly escaped from the space channel and were not discovered by anyone for the time being. Because at this moment, the attention of the green ox had long been attracted by the few sacred medicines that Xia Ping had obtained. It was looking for a place to plant these 8 sacred medicines. As for the 2 prisoners, the crow, demon bird, and Fae, they had long been forgotten by it. It also thought that even if these 2 primordial descendants ran out, they would not be able to cause much trouble in the space of the pearl of mountains and rivers. "Brother Crow, what should we do now? Are we going to catch those hateful girls? Those bastards actually pointed at us and even auctioned us. This is a great humiliation." The Fae shouted. They wanted to catch those slave girls. "Idiot, what's the use of catching those women? At a glance, you can tell that there are some low-level employees and also the slaves of that evil tyrant Wuwudi. It's just that their level is a little higher than ours. They are high-level slaves." The crow demon bird said. "High-level slaves? Are there low and high levels of slaves?" The Fae asked curiously. "Of course there are, but this is not the point. The point is that catching those girls is useless. Moreover, there are many primordial descendants around those girls. Now, they have been subdued by those girls and become traitors and spies of the primordial descendants." The crow demon bird said, "If we rashly go there, we might be caught by those primordial descendants and sell our whereabouts, causing us to suffer more severe punishment." "What? Is there such a thing? They are actually spies of the primordial descendants? So despicable and shameless?" The Fae shouted in horror. Who knows what they are thinking? For them, catching us fugitives is a great credit. They can obtain supreme benefits, so why not catch us?" The crow demon bird said, "In short, we have to avoid meeting those traitors. We will directly find the senior cadres of this place, capture them, and negotiate with that bastard Wuwudi." It clenched its wings. "But where are the senior cadres of this place?" The Fae expressed that it did not know this place. "I knew you weren't observant enough. Previously, when those bastards treated us as coolies and plowed the fields, I noticed that there was a place where the senior officers were." The baleful crow demon bird said proudly, "That place is a huge manor. Many young girls come and go from there, cleaning like maids. If they're not high-ranking officers, how could they receive such treatment?" "Where's that place?" Faye asked. "Just follow me. It's not far ahead." The baleful crow fiend bird flapped its wings and flew forward. Although it was only the size of a palm, it was extremely fast like black lightning. The Fae's speed was not slow either. Its body wriggled and immediately followed. Soon, the Fae and the dark evil demon bird arrived at a manor stealthily. "Haha, this place's security is really lax. There's not even a single guard here. The heavens are helping me." Seeing the situation in the manner, the malevolent crow demon bird immediately became excited and proud, because it found that there were no guards in this place, which meant that its action would not be discovered. It did not expect its action to be so smooth. It's all because that human is too stupid. He doesn't know that the strongest fortress is usually breached from the inside. The Fae said, "I didn't expect you to know this too." The malevolent crow demon bird was surprised. If the Fae had not been by its side, it would have thought that it had been replaced. "What do you mean? Are you looking down on me? Everyone in the Fae clan knows that I'm the real wise one. It's just that sometimes great wisdom appears to be stupidity." The Fae was dissatisfied. All right. Let's go in and kidnap the senior officers inside." The malevolent crow demon bird flapped its wings. It was not interested in talking to the Fae anymore. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. The two primordial species quietly sneaked in, according to their lightning retribution realm strength. Even if most of their magic power was sealed, such a divine ability was still amazing. Even a transcendence realm expert wouldn't be able to discover them. After a few breaths, the Fae and the malevolent crow demon bird entered the depths of the manor. At this moment, they saw a little girl in black gothic clothes watering the flowers in the manor. She seemed to be in a good mood and was even humming a song. This little girl was Luna. Haha, it's this little girl. As long as we catch her, we can use her to threaten Woody. The malevolent crow demon bird was extremely excited. "Leave it to me. Such a little girl is a piece of cake." The Fae volunteered to take advantage of this opportunity to make a contribution. "Who's there?" Suddenly, Luna, who was in black gothic clothes, turned around. She sensed two auras breaking into her manor and immediately noticed the Fae and the malevolent crow demon bird hiding in the dark. What? The malevolent crow demon bird and the Fae, who were still proud of themselves, immediately felt their hair stand on end. They felt a horrible aura of death, killing, devouring, emptiness, ferocity, and so on from this little girl. It was as if this little body contained an extremely terrible, ferocious aura, which was the peak of all killing creatures. This kind of violent killing aura was enough to destroy the souls of most creatures. Just standing there, the two primordial descendants were so scared that their bodies trembled. This was like a terrifying existence standing at the top of the food chain, a predator of all creatures. They also saw Luna's black eyes and immediately went crazy. Those were definitely not eyes, but a dark hell, as if there were countless devils, ghosts, and demons imprisoned in it. There seemed to be countless ghosts imprisoned in the depths of the pupils, constantly wailing in pain and emitting a crazy aura. This little body was simply like a collection of all sins. The dark aura on her body was like the sin of the abyss, which could pollute this world. Run quickly. This is a monster, a real monster. Even the 10 primordial fierce beasts are nothing more than this. The malevolent crow demon bird was scared to the point of peeing. It was also a kind of primordial fierce beast, the kind that killed people like scything flax. However, in front of this creature, it immediately felt that it was so small, as if it would be completely devoured in an instant. Now its intestines were green with regret. Why did it foolishly come here to kidnap? This was not kidnapping, it was clearly courting death. However, it did not expect that Woody had actually adopted such a horrible dark creature in this manner. Whoosh! The Fae twisted its body, like a divine dragon swinging its tail, and used all its strength to quickly escape into the distance. Damn it! You have no sense of loyalty. The malevolent crow demon bird's face turned green when it saw this scene. Before it could call for retreat, the fat snake had already escaped. Chapter 1932. But it was too late. Luna had already discovered the existence of these two primordial remnant species. She gently clapped her hand, and a terrifying palm force blasted over, as if it was tearing the space apart. With over 100 million dependents assisting her in her cultivation, Luna's strength was improving rapidly every day. She advanced a level almost every day. Even Xiaoping did not know what level Luna had reached. Furthermore, Luna was an extremely vicious beast that had been created. She was a true monster, and this little bit of power she had was only recovering. She was far from her peak. Dong! Dong! With just one palm, the Fae and the dark demon bird were both sent flying. A terrifying force exploded in their bodies, and they flew backward like meteors. In an instant, they were sent flying hundreds of millions of kilometers and finally smashed into a mountain. Phew, I'm a little sleepy. After doing some stretching exercises, Luna stretched herself. Feeling a little sleepy, she went back to her room and lay on her stomach to sleep. To her, she had just swatted away a few flies. As for whether they died or not, she did not care at all. On a mountain hundreds of millions of kilometers away, the two primordial remnant species, the Fae and the dark demon bird, could not help but spit out a mouthful of blood. There was a look of horror in the depths of their eyes. Their internal organs had been seriously injured. The palm just now was extremely dangerous. Fortunately, they had thick skin and flesh, and had the bloodline of primordial fierce beasts. Otherwise, that palm would have been enough to smash them into powder. But even so, they were seriously injured. Almost all the bones in their bodies were broken, and they could only recover a little of their combat strength. Oh my God, where did that little girl come from? Why is she so terrifying? Is she Wu Woody's senior cadre? Why does she look even more terrifying than Wu Woody? The Fae was terrified. I remember now. Such a terrifying aura of darkness and sin. That little girl must be the legendary corpse beast, the dark demon bird suddenly shouted, recognizing Luna's identity. Corpse beast? What kind of creature is that? The Fae did not know much about this. I once learned some information about Wu Woody. He once went to Dragonwood Planet, where many sages of the Western universe imprisoned an immortal and most evil creature, the corpse beast. The baleful crow-demonic bird's body was trembling. But that guy rescued the zombie beast from the seal, and as a result, he incurred the wrath of many of the Western cosmos powers and sages, and was pursued ferociously. But I didn't expect him to actually release the zombie beasts and turn them into his high-level cadres. They even have their own sentience now. Who exactly is this Wu Woody? It immediately became suspicious of Wu Woody's identity. It did not know what kind of terrifying background he had. What did you say? That's the zombie beast. It's immortal and indestructible. Even sages can't kill it. It's a monster that can only be sealed and imprisoned. Just now, we actually wanted to kidnap it. Even though the Fae had a big heart, it was still scared out of its wits. That was a terrifying existence that even the sages couldn't do anything to. It was called the most evil creature by the sages. They actually dared to kidnap people. Their guts were simply too fat. If the patriarchs of the Archaic Alliance were here, they would all praise them for their courage. The baleful crow-demonic bird's hair also stood on end. The ignorant were truly fearless. Fortunately, that monster didn't pay much attention to their existence. Otherwise, they would have died with just a little more force. Well, let's not provoke this monster. Let's find a place to hide and recuperate first. The baleful crow-demonic bird said helplessly, "There's a good cave over there. We can temporarily hide and rest. Maybe that monster won't catch up so quickly." The Fae pointed to a hidden cave in front of them. Whoosh whoosh. Without hesitation, the two dragged their exhausted bodies toward the cave. They wanted to temporarily rest and recover from their injuries. Why is there a huge egg here? What exactly is it? As soon as they entered the cave, the Fae immediately noticed that there was a huge white egg in the cave. It blinked its eyes, feeling that this egg was very extraordinary. It emitted a mysterious and noble aura. Retreat, retreat quickly. The knowledgeable, baleful crow-demonic bird saw this egg and immediately wet its pants. It screamed, "Fuck, this is Gaia, a member of the Gaia clan. She's in seclusion. Stupid snake, you must not wake her up. This is a terrifying existence. Otherwise, we're dead." Whoosh. The Fae was scared out of its wits. It flapped its wings and flew out of the cave. It was simply risking its life. Even though it was injured, it still used all its strength to survive. The Fae also ran with all its might, not daring to stop. This time, They ran for hundreds of millions of kilometers. Only when they were completely far away from the cave did they feel relieved. Damn, what's going on? Why does Gaia exist in this place? This is too strange. The Fae's face turned green. Even if it didn't care about worldly affairs, it knew how terrifying the Gaia clan was. It could be said to be the pinnacle race in the universe. It could also be called the strongest race. When they reached adulthood, they would be saints with an endless lifespan. If it wasn't for the Gaia clan's temperament, their small numbers, and their habit of sleeping, who knew how many territories they would have ruled? Who knows what's going on? What kind of existence is that Wu-Woody? Why does he have Gaia under him? Is Gaia also his high-ranking cadre? The baleful crow-demonic bird's face was very ugly. At first, it thought that this was just an ordinary place. But after breaking out of the prison, it realized how terrifying this space was. Impossible. He can even capture Gaia? The Fae felt very guilty. But after thinking about it carefully, this kid even dared to capture Gaia. It was no wonder that he wasn't afraid of offending the Primordial Alliance. In any case, we can't go back to that place. Fortunately, Gaia is sleeping now. If we wake it up, we'll be finished. The baleful crow-demonic bird rejoiced. It can't be. I heard that the Gaia clan is peaceful and won't easily kill people. The Fae swallowed hard. What a joke. There's so many Gaia members. How do you know that every Gaia member has a mild personality? It's not like there aren't any irascible ones. If we happen to encounter one with an irascible personality, and that person is a high-ranking cadre under Wu-Woody, who knows what kind of education he received, he might just smack us to death on a whim. The baleful crow-demon bird said with a solemn expression, "You're right. Anyway, we're safe for now." Faye felt that he could finally heave a sigh of relief. What safety? What are you two doing in my territory? Are you trying to steal my food? All of a sudden, a crisp voice sounded from behind the Fae and the dark, baleful demon bird. The bodies of the Fae and the dark, baleful, demonic bird stiffened. They turned around to take a look, and their eyes immediately turned white. They were scared out of their wits and passed out. Chapter 1933. Crash. A basin of ice-cold water was mercilessly splashed on the faces of the Fae and the baleful crow demon bird, instantly waking them up from their unconscious state. "You're awake." Tao Tai and Tan Meng Lu curiously looked at the two primordial descendants. "Oh my God, it really is a Tao Tai. It's not a dream. It's over, it's over. I'm going to be eaten. No, I don't want to die. I'm still a virgin. I can't die like this. Save my ancestor. Save us. Where's Wu-Woody? We won't dare to break out of prison again. We won't dare to do it again. Hurry up and bring us back." The Fae and the dark evil demon bird were scared out of their wits. The series of things that happened during the jailbreak today had completely frightened them. Now, they felt that the cage was too safe, and there was no sense of crisis at all. Now that they had broken out of the prison, they realized that the outside world was filled with ferocious beasts. It was fine that they had encountered the undying corpse beast that even sages could not kill. There was also Gaia, which was said to be the strongest race in the universe. Now, they had actually encountered the infamous Tao Tai, which was even among the primordial 10 Furies. Even their archaic alliance was extremely fearful of the Tao Tai. They simply didn't dare to associate with it, because once the Tao Tai went berserk, no matter how many archaic descendants there were, they would all be devoured. Legend has it that in the primordial era, a large number of primordial descendants were eaten by the Tao Tai and became a first-class protected animal. Now, they had all become a rare species. One could imagine the fear these primordial descendants had towards the Tao Tai. It could be said that in terms of savagery and danger, the Tao Tai was absolutely second to none in the primordial 10 vicious beasts. "Meng Lu, what are you doing? Hurry up and come over. I've been waiting for you. I've been thirsting for a long time. This time, I'll definitely beat them and ascend to the throne of kings." At this time, a lowly wearing a crown ran out barefoot. Her hair was disheveled, and she had dark circles around her eyes. It was as if she hadn't slept for a month. Her whole body exuded a decadent aura. She had been addicted to the game for more than a month. "Don't worry, I caught 2 thieves trying to steal my food. Tan Menglu shouted. What? Daring to steal Tao Ye's food? Are you tired of living? Or do you want to be food? Chong Xiaoqian asked curiously. She wanted to see who had the guts to snatch food from the Tao Dai. No, I didn't. We just happened to pass by. We didn't want to be food. Fei and Dark Baleful Demonic Bird repeatedly complained that they were wronged. They were so scared that their hearts trembled, indicating that they did not mean to steal at all. If they were really misunderstood by Tao Tai, they might really be eaten by Tao Tai. They took a closer look and realized Chong Xiaoqian's identity. She was the famous black hole worm. The two primordial descendants were shocked to the point of numbness. Even when this powerful race that should have long been extinct in the universe appeared in front of them, it was completely nothing. After all, the previous shock was too great, and he had yet to recover. What do you mean passing by? This is the territory of that scoundrel master. You two look very unfamiliar. Could it be that master recently caught archaic descendants? Tan Menglu stared at the two primordial species. Master? The Fei and Crow Fiend Devilbird were terrified, and their hearts sank. They felt that their chances of getting revenge were slim. Wu Wudi had even subdued the Tao Tai, which was one of the primordial vicious 10. No matter how they thought about it, the most terrifying one was still Wu Wudi. That's right, one of you is Fei, and the other is Crow Fiend Devilbird. I remember my dad said that both of you are good food. Your bodies are huge, and you can eat for a day. Tan Menglu saw through the true bodies of the two primordial species. Her eyes immediately lit up, and she seemed to be drooling. No, we are not food. We are not tasty. We really are not tasty. The Fei and Crow Fiend Devilbird were so scared that their faces turned green. They did not expect their race to be so famous that they were on the Tao Dai race's menu. This was simply on the death list. Wait, Sister Menglu, don't eat them first. I see that their skin is rough and their flesh is thick. Maybe they can be our servants. Chong Xiaoqian felt that this was a great opportunity, and she was very excited. Because as a king, how could he not have a few loyal lackeys and servants? It was obvious that these two primordial species were very powerful, and they were very suitable to be her lackeys. Be servants? Hearing this, Tan Menglu looked at the two primordial species and asked, Then let me ask you, what do you two know? Can you cook? Can you play games? Cooking? No, we just swallow everything we see when we eat. We don't need to cook. The Fei expressed that its body was huge, and sometimes it could even swallow an entire planet. Was playing games. I know how to kill enemies, but I'm the best at burning, killing, and plundering. The Crow Fiend Devilbird said proudly. Hearing this, Tan Menglu's expression immediately turned gloomy. Seems like the two of you should just be food. You don't even know how to play games, and you don't even know how to cook. What's the point of taking you two? She felt that it was better to eat the two primordial species. No, I know how to play games. I'm very good at it. The Fei hurriedly said. I also know how to cook. Any dish is fine. I'm proficient in everything. The Crow Fiend Devilbird was so scared that it peed its pants. Regardless of whether it knew how to cook or not, it had to first bluff and avoid this disaster. Is that so? Why did you say that you don't know anything just now? Tan Menglu said doubtfully. We were just being humble just now. I didn't expect you to take it seriously. The Fei and the Crow Fiend Devilbird said guiltily. All right, it seems like the two of you still have some use. You don't need to be food for now. Just be our servants and take care of our daily lives. Tan Menglu also felt that with servants taking care of her, she might not even need to get out of bed. She could live a decadent life with food and clothes. Menglu, ignore these two servants. Hurry up and go online. There's a bastard who keeps taunting us. He brought his lackeys to kill me at the revival point 2 or 3 times. That bastard's level isn't as high as mine. He's just relying on the fact that he bought a godly weapon in the game shop. He's so arrogant that there's no end to his arrogance. He even wants to destroy our city. This time we must beat him up. Chong Xiaoqian said angrily. What? There's actually such a thing? He's too daring. Charge money, immediately buy equipment, and beat him up. Tan Menglu was instantly enraged. She was born with a bad temper and was not to be trifled with. How could she endure such provocation? She and Chong Xiaoqian quickly ran back to the valley to settle the score with those guys. Brother Crow Fiend, what do we do now? Should we run away? Being with Tao Tai is like being with a tiger, the Fei said while trembling. It was afraid that Tao Tai would eat it if it was unhappy. Run? Where are you going? Do you want to go back to the cage? This place is filled with danger. We don't know how many terrifying creatures there are. It's better to stay here for now. We'll decide after we understand the situation here. The Crow Fiend Devilbird no longer wanted to run. It was so scared that its heart had turned cold. If they ran out and encountered another terrifying creature, they would really be dead. Chapter 1934. Time flew by, and a month had passed in a flash. Xiaoping had also cultivated for about a month. He had completely consolidated his cultivation and quickly digested all the energy of the phoenix blood, integrating it into his limbs and bones. Because of the huge amount of energy, his dermic power had also increased. He had advanced to the peak of the middle stage Transcendence Realm, only one step away from the late stage Transcendence Realm. Now, his dermic power was also much stronger than before. However, the number of golden crow cells in his body had not increased by much. It was still 95 million. The phoenix blood had temporarily exhausted all the energy to stimulate the awakening of the golden crow cells. Of course, this was also because Xiaoping had suppressed the awakening of the golden crow cells. After all, he could not face the heavenly tribulation now. However, during this time, he had not only condensed his dermic power, but also learned a martial Dao divine power obtained from the disciple of the Holy Land of Taichu, Majestic Killing Fist. Although he had many martial Dao divine powers, it was not a bad thing to learn one martial Dao divine power. As the saying went, it was not a bad thing to have more skills. Moreover, he had countless incarnations and needed various means to hide his true appearance. Let's see how powerful the Majestic Killing Fist is. Xiaoping's figure flashed and appeared in a vast desert in the space of the pearl of mountains and rivers. There was no one around, and he began to use the divine power he had just learned, Majestic Killing Fist. After this month, he had completely mastered this divine power. In fact, he had learned too many peerless divine powers, and the Majestic Killing Fist was only one of them. He made rapid progress and soon mastered it. In an instant, Xiaoping used the fist technique on this land. Thousands of golden fist prints appeared in the air, and there seemed to be an heirloom imperial jade seal in the depths of the golden fist prints, exuding an unparalleled majestic killing fist. Dong! This fist smashed hard on the ground, creating a deep pit with a diameter of thousands of kilometers. The violent majestic killing fist instantly eroded the ground into a golden color, as if it had turned into gold. Even this power continued to penetrate the earth, penetrating hundreds of kilometers underground and penetrating the underground water veins. A large amount of water gushed out from the ground, turning this place into a lake. The nearby pile of sand was turned into ashes under the terrifying majestic killing fist. Compared with the killing fist of the Way of the King that the disciple from the Holy Land of Taichu had displayed before, there was no doubt that Xiaoping's fist force was much more terrifying. If one had to compare, the disciple from the Holy Land of Taichu was just a small king under a vassal state, in danger of being destroyed at any time. On the other hand, Xiaoping was the true emperor of a super empire. He had hundreds of millions of soldiers and horses under his command, and the aura he contained was boundlessly terrifying. This kind of difference was simply indescribable. The reason why the gap was so huge was not that Xiaoping had a thorough understanding of the killing fist of the Way of the Monarch. It was purely because his power and strength were much stronger than that of the disciple from the Holy Land of Taichu. It was just like the difference in the strength of a country. One country had a lot of soldiers and a vast territory, while the other was short of soldiers and a small territory. Even though they were both kings, the difference in strength was too great. They couldn't be compared at all. Master! With a whoosh, the green ox appeared in front of Xiaoping. Oh, it's the green ox. Xiaoping retracted his aura and looked at the green ox. How is it? How's the cultivation of those sacred herbs? It's perfect. It has survived. Master, you can go take a look. Speaking of the sacred herbs, the green ox was also very excited and led the way. Soon, Xiaoping arrived at the medicine field where the purple lightning flower was. He saw that this medicine field covered a radius of thousands of kilometers. The green ox had set up a thunder array to communicate with the thunder dimension. In the core of this large array was the purple lightning flower. A huge amount of thunder energy poured down, covering the sky and the earth. Thunder and lightning were everywhere, as if forming a sea of thunder. The huge amount of thunder energy was quickly refined by this large array and turned into thunder liquid. If a cultivator who was proficient in thunder cultivation methods came to this place to cultivate, he would definitely make rapid progress, benefit a lot, and absorb endless thunder essence. There was also a medicine field next to it. That was where the 5 element vines were, covering a radius of 3,000 kilometers. The 5 element vines grew, and thick vines covered this area, as if it had turned into a vine-like forest world, lush and full of vitality. At the same time, this forest area was also divided into 5 major areas: metal, wood, water, fire, and earth. It absorbed rich elements of the 5 elements, making this place a place suitable for cultivating the 5 elements cultivation methods. The green ox also set up a 5-element spirit gathering formation here, assisting in absorbing the 5 elements in the depths of the void, making the essence chi in this place even denser. If other spiritual herbs were to be planted here, they would also have complementary effects. Not bad. Seeing this, Xiaoping's eyes lit up, feeling very satisfied. If he had refined these few sacred herbs, he probably wouldn't have such an effect. With these sacred herbs as the core, he set up many large arrays, turning them into special medicine fields. This was the way to maximize the benefits of the sacred herbs, and he would be able to continuously obtain great benefits. Apart from the 5 element vines and the purple lightning flower, the other sacred herbs were also set up by the green ox. For example, the void grass was a special sacred herb that grew in the depths of the void, absorbing void energy to grow. Therefore, it was given to the many black hole worms to take care of. To them, the void grass was considered a daily supplement. Usually, this grass would grow near the cave abode they lived in. However, the void grass that reached the level of sacred herb was still relatively rare. Therefore, these black hole worms were very happy to accept the task of taking care of the void grass. They also planned to continue to let the void grass reproduce and grow a large grassland formed by the void grass. Beep! At this moment, Xiaoping's communication device rang. It was a call from the sect leader, Zhu Xian. He immediately picked it up. "Sect leader, what's the matter?" Xiaoping asked. "I've already told you before that you'll be in charge of presiding over the trial of the new disciples. This time, you'll act together with a few elders to protect the new disciples in case of any accidents." Sect leader Zhu Xian said. "Understood, I'll go over right now." Xiaoping also immediately remembered what the sect leader had mentioned before. He had already grown to the level of an elder, so he should also contribute to the sect to a certain extent. Swoosh! He gave a few words to the green ox and encouraged it to continue working hard. Then, his figure flashed, and he left the space of the Pearl of Mountains and Rivers. Chapter 1935. Hi! Xiaoping's figure flashed and immediately appeared in front of Su Ji, Jiang Yaru, Chu Rong, and Yu Qiqi. He greeted them. "Where are you guys going now?" He looked at the 4 of them, sizing them up. After not seeing them for a long time, Su Ji, Jiang Yaru, Chu Rong, and Yu Qiqi had become even more charming. They had the temperament of a sex saintess, unreachable. If they were to walk outside, who knew how many male disciples would feel ashamed of their inferiority and not dare to look them in the eye? Participating in the new disciple trial. Currently heading to the main hall. Jiang Yaru replied. "New disciple trial?" Xiaoping blinked his eyes. He suddenly recalled this matter. Su Ji, Jiang Yaru, Chu Rong, and Yu Qiqi seemed to have only joined the Qianquan sect for a few years. They could also be considered new disciples. Therefore, they also needed to participate in this trial. As for Su Mei, Nangong Wu, and Qiushu because they joined the Qinquan sect as Xia Ping's maidservants. They didn't have many obligations and didn't need to participate in this trial. All right, what about you? Are you also going to participate in the trial? Su Ji asked curiously. She hadn't seen Xia Ping for a long time. After all, this guy appeared and disappeared like a ghost, running all over the universe. Who knew how many bad things he had done? Yes, my goal is the same as yours. However, I'm not here to participate in the trial, but to supervise it. After all, who asked me to be an elder? Sigh, the greater the power, the greater the responsibility. Xia Ping stood with his hands behind his back, a smug look on his face. After all, who would have thought that in just a few short years he would go from a disciple to an elder, from a candidate to an invigilator? Continue acting. The corner of Chu Rong's mouth twitched. She had the urge to beat this bastard up. Yu Chi chuckled and clenched her fists, as if she couldn't hold it in anymore. All right, how's your cultivation recently? Xia Ping asked casually. Bitch. Su Ji, Jiang Yaru, Chu Rong, and Yu Chi gnashed their teeth in anger. They knew that this bastard was purposely saying this to show off and provoke them. Not much. I just advanced to the late stage of the treasure refining realm. Jiang Yaru gritted his teeth. Only at the late stage of the treasure refining realm? Not bad, not bad. His cultivation speed was hard to come by. It wasn't as good as the best, but it was better than the worst. If you continue to work hard, you still have a bright future ahead of you. Maybe you'll even have a chance to catch up to me. Xia Ping displayed the demeanor of an elder, giving pointers and encouragement to the younger generation disciples. Not as good as the top, but better than the bottom. Hearing these words, Su Ji, Jiang Yaru, Chu Rong, and Yu Chi became more and more sullen. Among all the new disciples, they could be counted as the top geniuses, and countless people worshipped them. But in this bastard's words, it was more than enough. Although they were indeed not as abnormal as Xia Ping, they were still filled with anger when they heard this bastard say such cocky words. All right, you guys work hard. Maybe in the future, you guys will have the opportunity to stand on the same stage as me. Xia Ping said cockily. After throwing down these words, he left. Damn it, this is too infuriating. What is this bastard trying to do? Are you deliberately provoking us? Su Ji clenched her fist, wanted to rush up and beat this bastard Xia Ping into a pig's head. He's obviously showing off. After becoming an elder, he's become boundlessly arrogant. Yu Chi was also furious. She hadn't seen this hateful human for so many days, but he was still so infuriating. He looked like he deserved a beating. We must work hard in our cultivation. We can't let this bastard look down on us. Jiang Yaru gritted his teeth. That's right. Sooner or later, we'll catch up to this guy. At that time, let's see how he can still be so cocky. Chu Rong was also furious. She had never seen such a stingy man. He was obviously an elder, but he was still showing off in front of them, the new disciples. Sure enough, no matter how high this guy became in the martial way, he was still a bastard without any grace. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. They didn't stop and quickly flew toward the sect's main hall. Not long after, the four of them arrived at the main hall. At this moment, there was already a dense crowd of new disciples gathered in the main hall, neatly arranged according to their respective areas. They also saw sect leader Zhu Xian and a dozen or so elders standing on the stage. Xia Ping was among them. That bastard was still standing in the middle of the stage with his hands behind his back, insufferably arrogant. But when the new disciples below the stage saw Xia Ping standing in the middle of the stage, they were incomparably fanatical and excited, as if they had seen a super idol. My God, is that senior brother Xia Ping? I finally see him in person. It's said that he's only been in the Qinquan sect for a few years, but he's already reached the law phase realm, becoming an elder. He's now the examiner of the new disciples, in charge of the trial safety. It can't be, right? Only entered for a few years. Doesn't that mean he's not much older than us? He's so young, yet he's already reached this level. He's truly monstrous. If he's given a bit more time, won't he become a sage? That's to be expected. It's said that when senior brother Xia entered the sect, he shocked everyone in the Qinquan sect. Even the Dark North Saint, who had never accepted a disciple, appeared in person to recruit him as a disciple. This event shocked the Eastern universe back then, and Senior Brother Xia didn't let down the Dark North Saint's expectations. He made rapid progress, surpassed all his peers in a short time, and even reached the level of an elder. It's said that the Holy Land of Taichu from the Central Universe also sent a few disciples to the assessment. They overestimated themselves and tried to make things difficult for Senior Brother Xia. They didn't expect that Senior Brother Xia would beat them so badly that they're still lying in the hospital. It's too exaggerated. Isn't it said that the Holy Land of Taichu is the holy land of the human race, and any disciple who comes out of it is a genius, and we, the disciples of the saint-level sects, are no match for them at all? I can only say that it's a bit exaggerated, or that Senior Brother Xia is so monstrous that even the disciples of the Holy Land of Taichu can't catch up to him. Who in the world can beat him? Be a man like Senior Brother Xia. If I had 1/10 of Senior Brother Xia's ability, I would probably be able to sweep away my peers. Many disciples of the Qinquan sect talked about it, looking at Xia Ping with great admiration. If it weren't for the fact that the sect leader and the elders were here, they would probably have rushed up and asked for Xia Ping's autograph. Xia Ping's various deeds, although not many, were all earth-shattering. This also made him the idol of many disciples of the Qinquan sect, a goal to pursue. Chapter 1936. Some of the male disciples were filled with admiration and fanaticism, but many of the female disciples looked at Xia Ping with lustful gazes. They were like tigresses that wanted to swallow Xia Ping whole. This is Senior Brother Xia? He is so handsome. Being handsome is just one of his strengths. The most important thing is that he is talented. At first, I didn't understand why women like talented men, but now I understand. How many talented men are poor? Senior Brother Xia is different. Not only is he talented, he is also rich. I heard that he has a high chance of becoming a sage. Sage? My God, if I marry Senior Brother Xia, wouldn't I become a wife of a sage? Once I become the wife of a sage, I will be able to ascend to the heavens. That's right. Even if I can't become a sage in the future, I can easily live for 100,000 years by staying by his side. As for other benefits, there's no need to talk about it. Sigh, I really want to stick to Senior Brother Xia and sleep in his broad embrace. That's right. If I can have a baby with Senior Brother Xia, with my talent and his talent, how strong would his talent be? He might even give birth to a second sage. Hee, the number of women who want to stick to Senior Brother Xia can fill up an entire galaxy. You're not one of them. The pavilion closest to the water enjoys the moonlight first. We are all heaven and earth sect disciples, but we are very close to Senior Brother Xia. We're not like those wild bees and butterflies outside. All right, I wonder where we can meet Senior Brother Xia. I heard that Senior Brother Xia often stays in Yellow Flame Peak to cultivate and rarely goes out. That's right. Only by working so hard can one have such achievements. I like Senior Brother Xia more and more. Why don't we run to Yellow Flame Peak and meet Senior Brother Xia? We could take off our clothes and bathe there. Maybe we can seduce him. Shameless. But this seems like a good idea. Many beautiful female disciples giggled. Although they sounded like they were joking, their tone contained a trace of seriousness. It seemed like they were really considering how to attack Xia Ping at night and create a chance encounter. This group of shameless starts. Su Ji clenched her teeth and said. Hearing these words, she felt ashamed to be associated with them. Her face and ears turned red. As a woman, she didn't even have the slightest bit of modesty. She actually wanted to attack a man in the middle of the night, strip naked to seduce him, shameless to the extreme. That's right. What's so good about that guy? He actually needs a night attack? Yu Chi spat. Humph, they're just a bunch of greedy and vain women. They think that they can change their status by marrying a good husband. Who would fall for such a woman? They must be daydreaming. Chu Rong said in disdain. Don't worry about them. They don't work hard and only know how to rely on men. If they're abandoned by a man one day, let's see what they'll do, said Zhang Yar disdainfully. Suddenly, a disciple shouted, Senior Brother Xia, can we ask you a few questions? Ask away. Feel free to speak your mind. Xiaoping stood on the stage with his hands behind his back. The other elders didn't stop him. In fact, they were also very interested in Xiaoping's answers. After all, Xiaoping was really too mysterious. He often cultivated and rarely came into contact with the other elders of the sect. Senior brother Xia, I remember when you first entered the sect, you were only at the Purple Palace realm. But in just a few years, you've already reached the Transcendence realm. Is there some secret to your cultivation? That disciple asked curiously. Many people pricked up their ears to listen. They were also very curious about Xiaoping's cultivation experience. The secret is very simple. That is to take pills. Take them to your death. The more pills you take, the better it is. It's best if you can find some sacred pills. That way, you'll be able to improve at lightning speed. Xiaoping told them his method of improving at lightning speed. The mouths of the elders twitched. Nonsense. It was all nonsense. Who didn't know that taking pills was the best way to improve their magic power? But where would they have so much money to buy pills? Moreover, it was best if they could find sacred pills. If sacred pills were really that easy to find, then there would be almighty Thunder Tribulation Realm experts everywhere in the universe. After all, sacred pills were treasures that even almighty Thunder Tribulation Realm experts coveted. They were known as treasures passed down from generation to generation. How could it be so easy to find them? Some people had never seen them in their entire lives. Many disciples were speechless and didn't know how to answer. That person continued to ask, "All right, senior brother Xia, since you've taken so many pills, I wonder which pill should we choose to buy with the best effect? What kind of pill? Can't we just buy all of them? What choice do we need?" Xiaoping said carelessly, "This damn nouveau riche." Many elders' foreheads were filled with black lines. They felt that they could no longer talk to this kid. They were on a completely different level. They were poor and couldn't imagine what the world of the nouveau riche was like. The eyes of the group of female disciples were filled with hearts. They had no resistance against this kind of nouveau riche. He would buy everything he liked. What kind of wealth did he have? Senior brother Xia, we all understand what you said, but we don't have much money. What should we do? Someone continued to ask. If you don't have money, can't you just go to the bank to withdraw it? Why don't you have money? Xiaoping was very confused. He felt that not having money was an inconceivable thing. There was a lot of money in the bank, and they could withdraw it any time they wanted. There was no way to talk. There was no way to talk at all. The group of elders gnashed their teeth. They all had the urge to beat someone up. What kind of words was this bastard saying? Could rich people be so unbridled and squander money as they pleased? What did he mean by withdrawing money from the bank? If they had money in the bank, would they still be considered poor? Truthfully speaking, if their bank deposits were seen by criminals, they would all cry. Senior brother, we are not rich second generations like you. There's no money in the bank that we can't finish spending. We just want to find some ways to earn money. It's best if we can earn so much money that we can't finish spending it. A disciple asked honestly. So that's the case. You should have said so earlier. This is actually very simple. Xiaoping was enlightened. Just go and take risks. Just go to any universe secret realm, and you will notice many treasures appearing in front of you. This feeling is like picking up money. It feels really good. Senior brother, why is our adventure different from yours? The group of disciples was stunned. What's the difference? It's the same, Xiaoping said carelessly. Taking risks is the fastest way to make money in this world. Go to any place, and you'll find two forces fighting fiercely. In the end, they both perish together. The treasures left on their bodies, as well as the secret treasures they're fighting over, will all belong to you. You'll be the fisherman who reaps the benefits. It doesn't matter if you get lost. Just follow your instincts and move forward. You'll find a mystic realm that no one has ever discovered before. There are large amounts of spirit herbs and rare ores growing there. There's money everywhere. Chapter 1937. Senior brother, the situation I encountered was different from yours. Sometimes when two forces were fighting, they would kill me when they saw me. They would chase me for 9 streets before fighting for the treasures. A disciple said that he had accidentally fallen into a fierce battle between two forces, but he didn't get any benefits. Instead, he was treated as an enemy and chased for a long time, almost dying. He still had lingering fears when he thought of this. That's right. I got lost in a secret realm before and found a random path. However, I didn't see any treasures. Instead, I saw a terrifying monster. I accidentally entered the monster's nest and was chased by the monster. If not for the elders' timely rescue, I would be dead now. I didn't find any treasures at all. Someone said that getting lost in a secret realm was a rather dangerous thing. If one wasn't careful, they would enter the monster's nest and be chased by these terrifying monsters, becoming their food. Usually, countless people who got lost were killed by the monsters, not even leaving a corpse behind. There was a senior brother, Lou, who was chased by monsters in a secret realm. He also fell off a cliff. Although he had treasures to protect him, he was heavily injured. Both his legs were broken and more than 300 bones were shattered. There was nothing at the bottom of the cliff, only weeds and rocks. He climbed for a month before coming out. He suffered heavy losses. There were also people who said that falling off a cliff shouldn't be imitated. Otherwise, their lives would be frozen in the water. If they were lucky, they would break their legs. If they were unlucky, they would die. There's actually such a thing? Is exploring a universe secret realm so dangerous? Xiaoping said in surprise. That's right, senior brother Xia. Exploring a universe secret realm is extremely dangerous. It's definitely not like what you said, where you can pick up treasures casually and get rich even if you get lost. Less than 1 out of 10 people can get rich. The death rate is extremely high. Every time we explore, we risk our lives. We can only dream of encountering a saint's inheritance. We've never even picked up a piece of steel from the ground, let alone picking up treasures after falling off a cliff. Many disciples complained and looked at Xiaoping with a strange expression. Hearing this, the elders and sect leader Zhu Xian were speechless. They finally understood why Xiaoping was able to improve so quickly. F*CK, this bastard picked up treasures every time he went out. When he fought with others, he was able to reap the benefits. When he fell off a cliff, he was able to obtain a sage's inheritance. When he was lost, he was able to discover a new secret realm. How was this a human? He was simply a child of destiny. His luck was simply heaven-defying. But why was there such a huge gap between them? God was really too unfair. They looked at Xiaoping with jealousy, and their eyes almost turned green. Senior brother, do you have any other methods that are sure to make a profit without sowing? Someone asked. There is. I've been using this method. Xiaoping said seriously. First, you have to deposit 50 billion universe dollars into the universe bank. It's a fixed deposit, and the bank will give you 5% interest every year. This way, you'll be able to earn 5 billion universe dollars every year. In the future, you can squander it however you want, no matter what pill or elixir you want. Don't you think this method is good and practical? All the disciples were dumbfounded. They felt that it was very reasonable and could not refute it at all. This was indeed a way to reap without sowing. Cough, cough. All right, let's end the idle chatter here. At this moment, sect leader Zhu Xian spoke. He coughed and directly stopped the conversation. He couldn't let this despicable nouveau riche Xiaoping, the child of destiny, harm the disciples of the sect. If they really listened to this **star's words, wouldn't there be many more people in the sect who reap without sowing? There was no way to replicate this guy's situation. He opened his mouth and said, All right, all the new disciples have arrived. Let's cut the crap and head to the trial ground immediately. I wish everyone good luck and prosperity. The moment his words ended, a huge teleportation array appeared on the square. It spanned 3,000 kilometers and flashed with light. The surroundings were filled with dense spatial energy. A dazzling white light flashed and covered the entire world. It instantly enveloped all the disciples on the square, as well as over 10 elders. Following that, they disappeared from Chinquan Star. Boom! Immediately, many Chinquan sect disciples felt the world spin. It was as if they had passed through endless space. In the next second, they felt that their feet were stepping on a solid black ground. Obviously, they knew that they had been teleported to a strange land, which might be the trial ground. Congratulations, You have arrived at the demonic continent number 333333. After a while, when the disciples of other sects have arrived, we will immediately start the trial of the demonic abyss. An elder's voice came out and passed into the ears of every disciple. Many disciples looked around and found that this continent was filled with a strong demonic aura. The sky was dim and seemed to be wrapped in a layer of gray mist. There was no sunlight all year round. Moreover, this continent was full of deathly stillness. There were no signs of human habitation at all. There was not even a blade of grass. It was bare everywhere. There were broken walls and potholes everywhere. It could also be seen that this continent had experienced an extremely tragic war, which almost caused the whole continent to collapse. Suji, Jiangyaru, Chu Rong, and Yuchichi also noticed this situation. This is the demonic continent, the Abyss World? It is said that we haven't entered the Abyss World yet. This is just a piece of land at the entrance. Demonic continent number 333333. Are there many such lands in the universe? It might be. These sealed lands are all over the universe and are suppressed and guarded by countless sections. This is really incredible. This place is really too ominous. It is very uncomfortable. It is filled with the smell of death everywhere. It is definitely not a place that the living can stay for long. Look, the disciples of other sects have also arrived. Suji, Jiangyaru, Chu Rong, and Yuchichi had also learned some information from their master. It could be said that they had a certain level of understanding of this time's demonic abyss trial. At this time, not long after the disciples of Qingquan sect arrived, the disciples of Lingyun sect, Five Elements sect, Gui Yuan sect, Fly Immortal sect, and the other sects also took the teleportation array and quickly arrived. Are they here? Xiaoping didn't pay attention to the other sections. Instead, he looked at one of them, Lingyun sect. There was no other reason for him to pay attention to Lingyun sect. It was because he and Yi Mingyao hadn't seen each other since that night. If she also came to this place for this trial, he didn't know how to face her. Chapter 1938. The elders of the Lingyun sect, the Five Elements sect, the Gui Yuan sect, and the Flying Immortal sect arrived. They immediately saw Xiaoping, who was staying in the Heaven and Earth sect. Their eyes immediately lit up, and they immediately came over. After all, they were very interested in Xiaoping, who had defeated a disciple from the Holy Land of Taichu and was in the limelight. Putting aside the fact that Xiaoping might become a sage in the future, even now, Xiaoping was still a transcendence realm mighty figure. He was on equal footing with them and held great authority. Even if he didn't try to curry favor with such a person, he had to at least get to know him. Even if he couldn't become a friend, he definitely couldn't become an enemy. You must be fellow Taoists, Xia. You're young and promising. I've heard a lot about you. To be able to reach such a level of martial arts cultivation at such a young age, it's really enviable. It is said that fellow Xia plans to go to the Holy Land of Taichu. Given your cultivation and aptitude, you must be one of the best even in the Holy Land of Taichu. If our sect's disciples had even a 10,000th of fellow Taoist Xia's demeanor, then our sect would have no worries. The elders of the Lingyun sect, the Five Elements sect, the Gui Yuan sect, and the Flying Celestial sect came up to greet him and compliment him. You're too polite. Actually, I'm just an ordinary person. Apart from my invincible strength, no one can beat me. Besides, I'm also a fan of tens of thousands of people. It's not a big deal, Xiaoping said casually. Hearing this, the elders' lips twitched. For some reason, they had the urge to beat someone up. However, after exchanging a few pleasantries, Xiaoping was no longer interested in chatting with these elders. He looked directly at a chubby middle-aged female elder from the Lingyun sect and asked, "How come I don't see senior sister Yi Mingyao this time? Did she not participate? Are you pregnant and nurturing the fetus in the sect?" He voiced out his doubts. What pregnant? Don't talk nonsense. Junior martial sister, Yi, is still a virgin. How could she be pregnant? Where on earth did you hear such a rumor? The middle-aged female elder was very angry. She felt that these words were slandering the Lingyun sect's reputation. Oh, then what is senior sister Yi doing? Xiaoping asked curiously. Nothing much. I'm just preparing for my tribulation. The middle-aged female elder was very pleased with herself, incomparably proud. Tribulation? Could it be that fellow Taoist Yi Mingyao has already advanced to the Thunder Tribulation realm? When an elder of the Five Elements sect heard these words, he simply couldn't believe his ears. Unbelievable. She has only cultivated for a few hundred years, yet she has already advanced to the Thunder Retribution realm. How is it so fast? The Gui Yuan sect elder was extremely depressed. He had cultivated for thousands of years, but he was only at the early stage of the Transcendence realm. However, a little girl who was only a few hundred years old had already advanced to the Lightning Tribulation realm and was about to undergo tribulation. Why was there such a huge gap between people? Previously, I thought that fellow Taoist Yi Mingyao was a rare genius that only appeared once in 10,000 years and had a high chance of advancing to the Saint realm. I didn't expect that she would reach this realm so quickly. This is too amazing. The Flying Immortal Sect Elder Side. Among the cultivators of the same generation, there was no one who could be compared to Yi Mingyao. He felt a little resentful towards his own sect's disciples for failing to meet his expectations. Now, all of them had been defeated by Ling Yun's sect. It's all right, it's all right. It's all thanks to junior sister Ye's hard work and the sect's meticulous nurturing. Otherwise, how could she have achieved what she has today? Hearing these compliments, the middle-aged female elder was extremely pleased. All right, let's stop chatting here. Next, we will be opening the door to the Abyss realm and holding the trial for the new disciples. The Heaven and Earth sect elder started talking about serious matters. However, the trial this time is a little different from the previous one. Oh, what's different? Xiaoping asked. Previously, when you participated in the trial, you encountered the attack of the Abyss fiendish demons. This group of fiendish demons actually used an array to deceive the perception of the Tianji ranking. If it wasn't for your good luck, I'm afraid all the new disciples would have been annihilated. Such a thing absolutely cannot happen again and again. The Heaven and Earth sect elder said seriously. The elders of Ling Yun's sect, Five Elements sect, Gui Yuan sect, and Flying Immortal sect nodded as well. To them, every new disciple represented the future hope of their sect. Although they hoped that these new disciples could grow rapidly through the cruel trial, they didn't want to be killed by those fiendish demons before they could grow. This wouldn't be a trial, but just sending them to their deaths. Then what should we do? Xiaoping asked. Very simple. Our Heaven and Earth sect, Ling Yun sect, Five Elements sect, Gui Yuan sect, and Flying Immortal sect will each send an elder into the Abyss realm as an observer. The Heaven and Earth sect elder said solemnly. In that case, even if those fiendish demons come up with some scheme to deceive the perception of the Tianji ranking, we will immediately discover it with an observer. What happened previously won't happen again. I see. Xiaoping nodded. Sending 5 elders into the Abyss realm to constantly monitor the situation of the trial was indeed a good method. It could avoid unpredictable dangers to the greatest extent. Junior Brother Xia, this time, you will represent our Heaven and Earth sect to enter the Abyss realm and be in charge of monitoring the situation of the trial. The Heaven and Earth sect elder gave Xia Ping a mission. The other Heaven and Earth sect elders immediately heaved a sigh of relief. This was considered a tough job. After all, staying in the Abyss realm wasn't good. They would be corroded by the abyssal demonic aura at all times. It was like ordinary people living in a world of nuclear radiation. It was extremely uncomfortable. Moreover, they had to stay in there for a month. No problem. Xiaoping agreed immediately. Even if they didn't assign him to enter the Abyss realm this time, he would sneak in. This was because the Abyss realm might be an extremely dangerous place for ordinary people. However, for Xiaoping, who had the Golden Crow of Hell bloodline, it was simply his backyard. If he could kill a large number of fiendish demons, not only could he harvest the enormous soul energy of these fiendish demons, but he could also seize large amounts of the fiendish demon's essence and flesh. Most importantly, he could also use this opportunity to unseal 100 million Golden Crow of Hell cells in his body. He could directly trigger the heavenly tribulation and take the opportunity to transcend it. This is a spirit talisman. The Heaven and Earth sect elder took out a golden talisman. At a critical moment, you can tear this spirit talisman and immediately be teleported out of the Abyss realm. If there are no accidents after the trial ends, you can also tear this spirit talisman. At that time, you can also come out of the Abyss realm. This is a very important thing. Please take good care of it. Yes, Xiaoping took the golden talisman from the elder. The other sects had also chosen their observers to enter the Abyss realm. An hour later, the trial for the new disciples began. The sacred artifact, Tianji, list appeared and instantly opened the entrance to the Abyss realm. Chapter 1939. Abyss World. At this time, Xiaoping and the observers from the Soaring Cloud sect, Five Elements sect, Gui Yuan sect, and Flying Celestial sect all entered the Abyss World and stepped onto this Abyss continent. The disciples participating in the trial also entered one after another. They were currently flying in mid-air, observing the situation of the many disciples, as well as guarding against any unpredictable dangers. Abyss World, what a hateful world. The Soaring Cloud sect elder sighed. He found that the surroundings were filled with a strong abyss aura. If he didn't circulate his mana to form a layer of Gang Qi to isolate the abyss aura, it wouldn't take long for him to be assimilated into a demon. Even this place was barren and dark, filled with a dark, bloody, and murderous aura. It was simply killing intent at every step, which was terrifying. There were many dark places, and no one knew what terrible creatures would jump out from the dark areas. There seemed to be no bright sun demon in the sky above this demon continent, so this place was darker than the demon continent that Xiaoping entered last time, and the abyss devil aura was also much denser. Fortunately, I only stayed for a month. If I stayed for more than 3 months, I don't think I could stand it. The Flying Celestial sect elder also felt the same. This was not a place suitable for humans to live. However, Xiaoping didn't dare to agree. He felt that entering the Abyss World was like returning to his hometown. He was like a fish in water. He felt that if he circulated his cultivation method slightly, the Abyss Devil aura within thousands of kilometers would be completely devoured by his body like a whirlpool and transformed into mana. However, such a movement was too big. After all, he would be discovered by these elders, and some of his secrets would also be exposed. Therefore, he forcibly endured it. Thinking of this, Xiaoping said, "Fellow Taoists, I want to look around this Abyss continent. Fellow Xia, this is the Abyss World. There are tyrannical abyss demons everywhere. This is the base camp of the demons. If you walk around casually, you may encounter unpredictable dangers." The Five Elements sect elder reminded. Yes, it's better not to walk around casually. The abyss demons here are not to be trifled with. If you anger the abyss demons, I'm afraid a lot of them will be provoked. The Gui Yuan sect elder also felt that this place was too dangerous. With their strength, it was not suitable for them to run around. Otherwise, they would be courting death. It's okay. I know what I'm doing. Xiaoping waved his hand. His figure flickered, and without any explanation, he left. He had his own plans to carry out and didn't have time to waste here. Fellow Taoist Xia, why did he run away so quickly? Doesn't he know that this is the Abyss World and he can't run around? Perhaps fellow Taoist Xia has some other plans. Forget it. This is fellow Taoist Xia's decision. We can't stop him. Furthermore, with fellow Taoist Xia's strength and the golden talisman on him, he can escape at any time, so his life won't be in too much danger. Yeah, we'll just observe from here. There's no need to follow them. The other elders were stunned. They didn't expect Xiaoping to slip away so quickly. However, they didn't have the strength to stop Xiaoping. Moreover, the other party was a disciple of the Qingquan sect. After they finished their discussion, they sat cross-legged in the air and quietly observed the situation of the many disciples. They were like motionless statues. A few hours later, Xiaoping went all the way. He sensed that the deeper he went into this land, the denser the abyss demon Qi. The inner abyss demon Qi was at least 100 times higher than the outer demon Qi. Even if a law manifestation realm master entered the inner demon continent, he would probably feel that the spiritual power in his body was eroded by the abyss demon chi. Of course, this was nothing for Xiaoping. With a little operation of his cultivation method, the huge abyss demon chi quickly poured into his body and was instantly refined into pure energy. Strange, why didn't I see a powerful abyss demon along the way? Xiaoping narrowed his eyes. He felt very strange. Even if this demon continent was vast, there should be a powerful abyss demon. But in fact, he flew for a few hours, but he didn't see a demon above the law manifestation realm. It seemed that they had long disappeared from this land. He increasingly felt that something unusual might have happened on this demon continent. Well, there's something strange in front. Suddenly, Xiaoping's divine senses continued to spread out. 10 million kilometers, 100 million kilometers, 1 billion kilometers, 10 billion kilometers. Finally, he sensed that in a huge valley, there seemed to be countless abyss demon auras gathered. Moreover, the aura of each abyss demon was extremely powerful, at least reaching the law manifestation realm. Among them, there were endless thunder retribution realm demons. It was simply a gathering of heroes and elites. What's going on? Are these abyss demons gathered together for a meeting? Xiaoping touched his chin. Generally speaking, abyss demons were cold and indifferent, and they could devour each other to enhance their own strength. So they would be hostile to each other and fight to the death when they met. It was extremely rare for them to gather together for a meeting like this, unless it was an invincible demon king or even a demon saint personally giving the order. This group of abyss demons would willingly gather together. They lived in a world where the strong preyed on the weak, and they would absolutely obey the orders of the strongest. Let's go and see. Xiaoping immediately used Kuan Peng steps, like a huge Kuan Peng with wings on his back. He flew silently towards the valley at an extremely fast speed. However, before arriving at the valley, he first used the formless mask to transform himself into a dragon-horn demon, exuding the aura of the middle stage law manifestation realm. After all, if he swaggered over, as a human, he couldn't hide his aura at all, which was very disadvantageous for intelligence gathering. Whoosh! It didn't take long for Xiaoping to land in front of the valley. In front of the valley, there were some powerful demon soldiers guarding. The guards were awe-inspiring, exuding a tyrannical demon aura. Lord Dragonhorn Demon. As soon as they saw Xiaoping appear, many demon soldiers immediately became respectful and greeted him respectfully, because Dragonhorn demons were one of the most powerful races among the abyss demons. Am I late? Xiaoping said loudly, showing a dignified look. No, the meeting has just begun. Lord came at the right time. The demon soldier flattered. Very well, bring me in, Xiaoping said directly, pretending to be an important person. If he went in casually and couldn't find his position, it might cause some trouble. If he let the soldier lead the way, it would be foolproof. Lord Dragonhorn Demon, this way please. Chapter 1940. At this moment in the valley, the Dragonhorn Demon that Xiaoping disguised as was brought to the front by the soldiers. He was almost in the same area as the Lightning Tribulation Realm demons. It seemed that the Dragonhorn Demon had an extraordinary identity. Even at the Transcendence Realm, he was qualified to stand with other Lightning Tribulation Realm demons. This was a symbol of strength. Interesting. Xiaoping raised his eyebrows and looked indifferently at the densely packed abyss demons that had appeared in the valley. There were at least 1 million of them, and they were all at least at the Transcendence Realm. There were also more than 100,000 Lightning Tribulation Realm demons. It could be said that the stronger abyss demons on this demon continent were basically all gathered here. However, there were a total of 3 top demons standing at the front of all the abyss demons. They were the Bright Sun Demon, 9 Serenity's Demon, and Sky Heart Demon. Needless to say, the Bright Sun Demon was a natural top predator that usually lived above the 9th heaven. It ate many abyss demons and made countless demons tremble in fear at the mention of its name. It called itself the Son of the Abyss. The Nine Serenities demon was also a top demon that lived under the abyss and had indescribable terror. There was also the Sky Heart demon. It was a terrifying demon born from the endless negative emotions of living beings. It was invisible and traceless, and there was no trace of it at all. Often, when the Sky Heart demon killed the enemy would not even know how they died. Many abyss demons were also extremely afraid of the Sky Heart demon. It was a wise demon among demons that could see through people's hearts and was a natural leader. Supremacy Heart demon that Xia Ping had encountered previously was also a Sky Heart demon before it advanced to Demon Sage. It was a terrifying monster that would only appear in the abyss every billions of years. Sky Heart demon is here too. It seems that this gathering was called by it. What does it want? Xia Ping narrowed his eyes and remained calm. At the same time, he looked at the bright sun demon up above with some desire. He could sense that the bright sun demon's blood and energy would be of great benefit to him. If he could kill this bright sun demon, his strength would definitely improve by leaps and bounds. He remembered that during the first trial, he could only watch from afar when facing the top existence of many demons and did not dare to approach at all. But now, he had the strength to kill such an existence. It seems that all the demons are here. Let the meeting officially begin. At that moment, Sky's Heart demon stood out. Its appearance was just a black fog. Deep within the black fog were two eyes and a mouth. It looked eerie and creepy. Heaven's Heart demon, cut the crap. You summoned us here, saying that the demon saint summoned us and ordered us to prepare for war to attack the human world. Is this true? The one who spoke was the Tiger Claw demon. Many abyssal demons also stared at the Sky Heart demon. They were all wild and untamed. The reason why they were so obedient and didn't rebel was because the demon saint was suppressing them. Of course, they were also very interested in attacking the human world. Attack the human world? Xia Ping was stunned. He felt as if he had heard an important piece of news that was beyond his imagination. If this group of abyssal demons the entire abyssal world plan to attack the human world, it would be a catastrophe for the entire universe. He immediately became extremely careful and listened carefully. Of course it's true. The demon saints have been preparing for this for a long time. Sky's Heart demon cackled. Since the primordial era, we abyssal demons attacked the human world. At first, we were unstoppable. We defeated all living beings in the universe and obtained more than half of the territory. We killed countless people, but we really underestimated these living beings and fell into their traps again and again. Then, we were chased back to the abyssal world like stray dogs. We suffered a serious setback. Many demon saints died. This was a heavy blow. In the end, we were sealed in the abyssal world by these despicable fellows. We couldn't leave at all. We were even treated as their training targets. Every year, humans would come and kill us. This is a great humiliation for us abyssal demons. Hearing this, many abyssal demons were furious. One had to admit that Sky's Heart demon was indeed a demon that could see through people's minds. Just a few words made them extremely angry. The abyssal world's humiliating history, the grievance of being killed by humans, being treated as a training target like prey, billions of years of hatred surged out at this moment. Originally, humans were just like livestock to them. They could kill and eat whenever they wanted. They were extremely weak. But now both sides are on opposite sides. Instead, they became livestock of humans and became nourishment for humans. This made them indescribably angry. It was just that they were weak and couldn't resist before, so they didn't show it. Saying this, Sky's Heart demon's eyes flashed with a strange black light. It struck while the iron was hot. But this humiliation ends today, because the demon saints have decided to attack the human world again. That's easy for you to say. Do the demon saints have a way to break the formation that seals us abyssal demons? A demon asked. If they couldn't even break the formation, then they couldn't do something as stupid as invading the human world. Of course, this is also planned by the demon saints. After billions of years of exploration, they finally found a way to break the formation. Sky's Heart demon sneered. In fact, they found the way long ago. But the demon saints have been holding back because they learned from the last war and learned from the painful experience. Before they had enough strength, they definitely wouldn't attack rashly. Otherwise, they would end up like the primordial era. But it's different now. Our abyssal world has been recuperating for billions of years. Countless powerful abyssal demons have completely grown up. We're no weaker than humans. Yes, we abyssal demons are no weaker than humans. Abyssal demons will never be slaves. Kill all living beings in the universe and take revenge. Many abyssal demons roared. Their voices were earth-shattering. Their demonic aura filled the sky. Their hatred had been completely ignited by Sky's heart demon. This time, we abyssal demons will be stronger, crueler, and more cunning. Heaven's heart demon yelled. We won't make the same mistake as the primordial era. We're going to do it steadily and devour star system after star system. We'll kill all the living beings in the star system after star system and completely turn this universe into our abyss world's territory. Chapter 1941. That's right. Invade the universe and kill all the humans. Dominate, dominate. We abyssal demons are the true overlord race. Many abyssal demons were excited and fanatical. It was as if Sky's words had ignited their aggressive, cruel, and domineering personalities. They wanted nothing more than to rush out and fight those damned humans to the death. This is a little troublesome. Xiaoping narrowed his eyes. He could feel a storm brewing and the aura of a great war. If these abyssal demons were really well-trained and steady, they would definitely bring great harm to the entire universe and all the races in the universe. By then, the losses would probably be worse than the immemorial era. If the demon sages swarmed out of the abyss world, who knew how many sages would die? Instantly, he felt a sense of urgency. If a universal war really happened, with his current strength, he would only be a slightly bigger cannon fodder. Only by becoming a sage could he have a chance to control his own life. If I can kill all these abyssal demons and devour their flesh and soul, my cultivation will probably improve by leaps and bounds. Xiaoping touched his chin. Originally, he didn't want to cause such a huge commotion. But since these abyssal demons wanted to invade the human world, he had no choice but to kill them all. Thinking of this, he changed into Wu Wudi's appearance and stood out. A bunch of frogs at the bottom of a well, looking at the sky from the bottom of a well. They actually want to counterattack the human world. What a fool's dream. Humans can seal you for billions of years. They can continue to seal you in the future. You will never be able to escape. This is your fate. The moment he said that, many of the abyssal demons were shocked. They immediately sensed the dense human aura emanating from Xiaoping's body. What's going on? Why did a human suddenly sneak in? Damn it, when did he appear? Why didn't any of us discover him? Traitor, there must be a traitor among us. Many abyssal demons were shocked and angry. They were the cunning and vicious ones. They were the spokesmen for sneak attacks. It had always been them plotting against humans. Since when had they ever been plotted against by humans? But now, after such a long meeting, they actually didn't notice any humans appearing beside them. This was simply unbelievable. If this human hadn't taken the initiative to stand out, they wouldn't have noticed. Damn human, how did you sneak into this place? Does he have any accomplices? Tell me everything about how you infiltrated this place. Otherwise, you'll wish you were dead. A goat-horned demon king roared angrily as he glared at Xiaoping, emitting a terrifying killing intent. Why are you wasting your breath on him? Just beat him up and interrogate him from his soul. I'm an expert in torturing humans. I guarantee that he'll spill everything. A black snake demon king cackled, an evil and sinister aura emanating from the depths of his blood-red pupils. Sigh, you really don't understand human language. Don't tell me you still don't understand that I want all of you to die. Xiaoping instantly attacked and punched out. Martial path mystical ability, kingly killing fist. Immediately, a golden fist blasted out. Within the depths of the fist was a golden jade seal, and it emitted a noble and unstoppable aura of a king. It was boundlessly terrifying, as if an ancient emperor was personally leading an expedition. Dong! That black snake demon king still didn't know what happened. Its entire body was immediately hit by the golden fist, and its entire body immediately shattered like a watermelon. Even its primordial spirit was instantly shattered, and it completely collapsed from this world. What? Many abyssal demons were shocked, and they simply couldn't believe their eyes. They clearly sensed that this human was only at the middle stage of Law Phase realm. However, the Black Snake Demon King had already reached the early stage of Lightning Tribulation realm. There was a huge difference in cultivation level. Moreover, the combat power of abyssal demons was naturally stronger than humans of the same level. Normally, it should be the Black Snake Demon King who easily killed this stupid human. But now, the Black Snake Demon King was actually smashed by this human with a single punch. It couldn't even fight back. If they hadn't confirmed it repeatedly, they would have thought that they had fallen into some kind of terrifying illusion. That's all. You want to invade the human world with this kind of strength? Are you trying to make me laugh? You better go back and cultivate for a few more years. Don't come out and embarrass the abyssal demons. This will shame the primordial seniors. They aren't as weak as you. Xiaoping stood with his hands behind his back and looked at the demons disdainfully. He stood where he was, and with his body as the center, a terrifying aura was produced. The massive abyssal demonic aura in the surroundings formed a whirlpool and frantically surged into the depths of his body. Pa 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 at this moment, Xiaoping felt that his magic power was rising steadily. Even the hell golden crow cells in the depths of his body were awakening. Massive energy surged out from the depths of his body. After killing the Black Snake Demon King, he devoured a large amount of soul energy, which made his cultivation improve greatly. If he devoured another 1 or 2 abyssal demons of the same level, the hell golden crow cells in his body would immediately awaken to 100 million. He felt that his heavenly tribulation seemed to be getting closer and closer. Human, you've gone too far. You actually dare to be so arrogant after coming to the abyss world. Kill him. Immediately kill this human and tear him into pieces. All the abyssal demons were instantly furious. It was already embarrassing enough for a small human to barge into their meeting without being discovered by any demon. But now, this bastard actually dared to wantonly mock them and even killed one of their companions in front of them. If they didn't kill this human, they wouldn't be able to swallow this anger. Die. Human, poison the world. A poison demon king shouted angrily. It was a ball of black liquid, and its entire body was condensed from poison. This was a body that gathered many strange poisons of the abyss world. Even a single drop of this poison could kill hundreds of millions of people. Boom, in an instant, black raindrops fell from the sky, covering an area of a few hundred kilometers. It was like a heavy rain, and there was nowhere to hide. It destroyed everything. Damn it, hide quickly. Damn human, you've implicated the fish in the pond. Retreat, retreat immediately. Many abyssal demons nearby were so scared that their eyes turned green. This was because this poison didn't differentiate between friend and foe. When it fell, not only could it kill humans, but it could also kill abyssal demons. Chapter 1942. But some abyssal demons were really too slow. They were accidentally splashed by the venom and immediately screamed. At the same time, the black venom corroded their bodies rapidly like acid. In just a breath's time, they were corroded into an unknown black substance. Even the ground was corroded, forming huge pits. It was extremely shocking. The air was filled with sulfur and the stench of decay. It was nauseating. Even the air was poisonous. Many abyssal demons couldn't open their eyes and coughed. With the poison fiend as the center, a radius of hundreds of miles became a poisonous zone. Ordinary abyssal demons couldn't enter. Freeze! Xiaoping didn't even look. He clapped his hands and used the ninth heaven force. A terrifying Xianming cold air immediately surged out of his body and covered hundreds of kilometers. Immediately, this cold current surged in all directions, and wherever it went, everything was frozen into ice. It was as if this area had turned into a world of ice and snow, and it was snowing heavily. What? The poison fiend was shocked. Its pupils contracted because it found that the cold air, was extremely terrifying. The venom it had blasted out was actually frozen and turned into ice particles. The cold air surged in from all directions and surged into its body, covering it entirely. Crack, crack! The poison fiend's body was frozen into a huge ice sculpture. It was lifelike. One could even see its terrified eyes before it was frozen. The surrounding cold air terrified many abyssal demons. It was as though they would be frozen if they touched it. They might follow in the poison fiend's footsteps. Dong! Xiaoping flicked his finger lightly, and a strong force bombarded the ice sculpture. The ice sculpture immediately shattered. Even the poison fiend's body turned into pieces. His spirit shattered. The poison fiend is dead? He was killed instantly by this human. Damn it. This human can't be underestimated. Bullsh asterisk T. He dares to enter our nest. We have to be prepared to surround him. Let's go together and tear this arrogant human apart. Seeing that the poison fiend king was killed, the other fiend kings were furious. This human actually killed another fiend king, fiend king, fiend king, fiend king, fiend king, fiend king, fiend king. Foolish human, do you think you're the only one who knows the power of ice? Have a taste of my Ice Devil King's abyssal ice. An Ice Devil King attacked. It was a crystal-clear monster, but it was black, as if black liquid was flowing. Its entire body emitted a bone-chilling coldness that made people's bones tremble. This demon king was a terrifying, fiendish demon born from the ice world of the abyss. Its body contained the power of extreme frost. Ordinary fiendish demons would instantly be frozen into ice sculptures if they touched it. In an instant, it attacked, and a black, abyssal cold current swept over. The temperature was frighteningly low, almost to the point where a drop of water would freeze into ice. This black cold current even contained corrosive demonic aura. Not only could it freeze all life, but could also erode it. Not even magical treasures could resist this double blow. Go to hell, human. Great Rip Devil Dao. Another Devil King rushed out from the side. It was the Shredder Devil King. It had 108 tentacles on its body, but each of them was as sharp as a blade, indestructible. When the 108 tentacles attacked the enemy at the same time, it was as if hundreds of peerless Sword Dao experts attacked at the same time. Blade light and sword shadows could tear the enemy apart in an instant. The sword light that erupted could destroy everything. Even Micah Steel could be easily cut through like tofu. In an instant, the sword light on the Shredder Devil King blasted out. Hundreds of thousands of sword lights appeared in the air densely, as if the void was being torn apart, making people's hearts palpitate and their scalps tingle. Even if millions of low-level fiendish demons appeared in this place, they would probably be torn into countless pieces in an instant. Destructive demonic light. The one who attacked was a multi-eyed Devil King. It was more than 10 meters tall and had hundreds of eyes all over its body. Each eye was eerie and terrifying, as if it had its own consciousness. Ordinary people who saw these eyes would be eroded by the demonic power of the multi-eyed Devil King and go crazy. In fact, each eye could even burst out with destructive demonic light that contained terrifying destructive power. Its entire body stood on the spot like a mobile cannon. In an instant, thousands of destructive demonic light blasted out, covering the area where Xiaoping was, as if it wanted to make the area barren from then on. Abyssal demonic fire. The burning Devil King also couldn't hold it in any longer. Its entire body seemed to be made of rock, but terrifying magma was spewing out everywhere. It emitted thick smoke, and the smell of sulfur pervaded the air. Its body was huge, reaching over 100 meters in height, like a small mountain. Its entire body was burning with terrifying flames. This was the demonic fire that came from the abyss, not inferior to any deviant fire. Once the enemy touched the flames, they would instantly turn into ashes. It circulated its demonic power, and a huge amount of demonic fire blasted out. The entire area was covered in demonic fire, and the entire ground was burned to the point of cracking, as if it had turned into a world of lava. At this instant, more than 10 Devil King-level fiendish demons attacked at the same time, attacking from all directions in the sky. They used their full strength, wanted to turn this damned human Xia Ping into dust. Thousand-eyed demon. Xia Ping circulated his cultivation technique, and a huge amount of magic power immediately rushed out from the depths of his body. The majestic heaven and earth Yuan Qi instantly condensed into a Dharma idol, thousand-eyed demon. This thousand-eyed demon was thousands of meters tall, and it had thousands of demonic eyes. Each demonic eye seemed to represent a mysterious power from the depths of hell, unfathomable. It was clearly a demon, but it was neither happy nor sad. It emitted a holy aura, like a high and mighty god that controlled death. It was indescribably noble and unfathomable. Boom! At this moment, the thousand-eyed demon's eyes opened, and in an instant, the world turned upside down. Countless demonic light blasted out from the depths of its pupils, forming a supreme killing formation that pierced through the void. Dong, dong, dong! The entire world seemed to have stopped at this moment. The Ice Devil King, Shredder Devil King, Multi-Eyed Devil King, Burning Devil King, and other Devil King-level fiendish demons were still hundreds of meters away from Xia Ping. But at this moment, their eyes widened, and they were shocked to find that their mystic arts were easily defeated by the demonic light. In fact, the demonic light even pierced through their bodies. Their fiendish defense, which was clearly comparable to a superior-grade spirit artifact, was now as weak as tofu. In a breath's time, their bodies were full of holes, and they were like a beehive. Rumble in the next second, the Ice Devil King, Shredder Devil King, Multi-Eyed Devil King, Burning Devil King, and the other Devil Kings didn't even know what had happened, but their bodies were disintegrated into hundreds of pieces. Chapter 1943. Many of the abyssal demons were dumbfounded when they saw this scene. These were more than 10 demon kings. Even in the abyss world, they were overlord-class existences. They ruled over billions of demons and were extremely powerful. But now, they were killed by this human in an instant. They couldn't even get close to him and were dismembered in midair. They could see the eyes of these demon kings after they died. They were filled with unwillingness, fear, confusion, and regret. They didn't seem to know how they were killed by this human. These are abyss demons? Weak, too weak. I haven't even done anything, and you're already lying on the ground. Xia Ping stood with his hand behind his back and lamented, I didn't expect this batch of abyss demons to be so weak. You are the weakest batch of demons I have ever seen. You are unimaginably weak. Could it be that after being reared by us humans for billions of years, the ferocity in your bodies has been erased and you have become livestock? At this moment, with his body as the center, a terrifying aura was produced. The abyss demon aura within thousands of kilometers turned into a whirlpool and surged towards Xia Ping's body. Even the remnant soul energy of these dead demon kings was absorbed by Xia Ping. He felt the dermic powers in his body rising rapidly. Even the golden crow of hell cells in the depths of his body were awakening. 100,000 cells, 500,000 cells, 1 million cells, 3 million cells. It seemed like he was getting closer and closer to awakening 100 million golden crow of hell cells. His strength was rising with every passing moment. The entire abyss world seemed to sense that a taboo existence was about to be born. In the sky, dark clouds gathered and a huge calamity was brewing. But the attention of many of the abyss demons had long been attracted by Xia Ping. They didn't notice their surroundings at all. The weakest batch of demons? Damn human, what the hell are you talking about? You make it sound like you have seen many demons before. I'm older than 18 generations of my ancestors. Do you know that? Damn human, how dare you humiliate us like this and treat us like livestock? As expected, humans are the most evil. I will definitely exterminate the human race. Completely exterminate them. This is a great humiliation. This is a great humiliation. I must kill this bastard. I'm going to tear him apart and feed his flesh to the dogs, piece by piece. Many abyssal demons were infuriated by Xia Ping's words and flew into a rage. They were originally violent, demonic creatures. How could they endure such mockery and humiliation from Xia Ping? One by one, they exploded in anger. Human, You're too arrogant. This king can't tolerate you for even a second. I'll kill you as a sacrifice to the flag. At this time, on the high platform, as the peak existence of billions of demons, the 9 underworld demon also couldn't hold it in any longer. It stood out on the spot, looking down on all living beings, indifferently staring at Xia Ping. It looked at Xia Ping as if it was looking at a dead man. TSK, TSK, although I don't know how you managed to sneak in without us noticing, you'll have to stop here today. You dared to expose your identity in front of so many abyssal demons. I really don't know where your brain is located. Heaven's Heart demon cackled. Everyone, don't attack. Wait for me to kill him. I feel that this human has something I desire. After killing him, I'll gain endless benefits. The Bright Sun demon also spoke. Its voice was extremely loud and deafening. It was also very hoarse, like the sound of metal rubbing against each other. It was ear-piercing and uncomfortable. But as soon as it spoke, it shocked countless demons. This was the Bright Sun demon, the peak existence of countless demons. It was a natural predator and had the potential to become a demon sage. Such an existence was going to attack personally. Even Heaven's Heart demon and the 9 underworld demon were shocked. The Bright Sun demon was a very lazy existence. Usually, when it wasn't hungry, it would fall into a deep sleep. Unless it was necessary, it wouldn't attack. But now it was going to attack and kill this human. They didn't know what was going on. Was this human so arrogant that even the Bright Sun demon was completely enraged? At this moment, the Bright Sun demon's eyes were filled with madness. It almost couldn't control its rationality because it felt that Xia Ping's body was emitting endless heat. It was like a real sun. If it could devour all of this human's flesh and blood, it would probably truly understand the true meaning of a demon sage. It would instantly ascend to the same realm as a demon sage. This was its opportunity to attain Tao. But at this moment, Xia Ping had no time to care about the threat of these demons. He could feel the golden crow of hell cells in his body awakening crazily. At this moment, the 100 millionth golden crow of hell cell finally awakened. This seemed to be a critical point. From a quantitative change to a qualitative change, there seemed to be some indescribable change. Whoosh, Xia Ping felt that every drop of blood in his body was boiling, burning like magma. His entire body had turned into an existence of flames. At the same time, his blood also underwent an earth-shattering change. Metamorphosis, and continuous metamorphosis. In the end, it was completely transformed into dark golden blood. This blood was sacred, noble, and ancient. It seemed to be the blood of a mythical creature. It contained an indescribable power, as if it was born from the depths of chaos. Boom! Many abyssal demons wanted to attack Xia Ping. But at this moment, Xia Ping's body produced a terrifying aura. It instantly erupted and sent the surrounding abyssal demons flying. With Xia Ping's body as the center, the area within a radius of 1,000 kilometers became empty. All abyssal demons were repelled. Those abyssal demons that were sent flying all coughed up blood. They were shocked. They actually felt that under the explosion of that aura just now, they had no way to resist. What happened? Many abyssal demons were shocked. They clearly felt that this human in front of them had undergone an unbelievable transformation. This seemed to be a leap in the nature of life. A tyrannical aura surged out from the depths of this human's body. The human seemed to have turned into a huge furnace. He emitted endless heat as if he was going to completely melt this land. Son, this is the real sun. The Bright Sun demon was extremely fanatical. It could feel the most fundamental power of the sun from this human. It was as if this human was the true incarnation of the sun. He was the sun god walking in the human world. It was very clear that it was just a demon that imitated the sun. Compared to a real mythical creature, it was unknown how far apart it was. A fake would never be able to become the real thing. Chapter 1944. Xia Ping ignored the covetous eyes of the abyssal demons around him. He was immersed in his own evolution. When the 100 million golden crow cells in his body had awakened, his bloodline had reached a certain level of density and had undergone a supreme transformation. From the depths of these golden crow cells, not only was a huge amount of golden crow energy surging out, but there was also a lot of information from the golden crow inheritance. These were all the memories engraved in the depths of the golden crow cells. This was bloodline inheritance. Every drop of the blood of a real mythical creature contained a huge amount of information. Like an immortal book, they were eternal and indestructible. Once triggered, the inheritance would be activated again endlessly. At this moment, Xia Ping was receiving such an inheritance. He seemed to have transformed into a real golden crow of hell. The blood in his body had also turned into immortal flames. His control of flames seemed to have reached a higher level. He had reached the level of mastery and could use them freely. At this moment, he felt that he was the ruler of flames. Whoosh, when the inheritance information was transmitted to a certain extent, countless scriptures gathered in Xia Ping's mind, as if forming a powerful bloodline ability. Xia Ping reached out his right hand. The depths of his body, the depths of the void, and the flames floating in the space were all attracted. Countless golden crow runes flashed and gathered together. Immediately, the flames solidified and gradually turned into a dark golden spear. Countless golden crow runes were engraved on it. It emitted a holy, ancient, powerful, and dominating aura. Bloodline ability, Spear of the Nether Deity. Xia Ping immediately knew what bloodline ability he had obtained after awakening the 100 million golden crow cells. It was a peerless ability that the golden crow of hell had comprehended after falling into the 9 hells. Spear of the Nether Deity. This spear was a weapon of slaughter. It was a peerless killing move that the golden crow of hell had comprehended after becoming the ruler of hell. It represented the authority of the Nether Deity, ruling over the life and death of all gods and demons. Once the spear of the Nether Deity appeared, it could immediately kill all enemies. One's life and death would be out of one's control. So powerful. Xia Ping gripped this dark golden spear tightly. He could clearly feel how terrifying this spear was. The tip of the spear contained a sharp aura that seemed to be able to easily pierce through the sky. The entire spear was condensed from the flames of the golden crow of hell. It contained both the flames of hell and the flames of the golden crow. If it hit an enemy, it could instantly wipe them out and make them disappear from this universe. The killing power contained within it was 10 times more terrifying than the infernal golden crow claw. This was a peerless divine ability that existed purely to kill enemies. When Xia Ping awakened the infernal deity spear, the entire abyssal world could sense the taboo power, and although it was weak, it had boundless potential. This also angered the abyssal world's laws. Rumble. In an instant, endless tribulation clouds surged out from the depths of the abyss world. In just a few breaths, they covered a radius of 30 billion kilometers, vast and boundless, enveloping everything. However, these tribulation clouds were not ordinary tribulation clouds. They were crimson tribulation clouds and were extremely bright. They surged in the sky like blood and dyed the abyss continent red. The blood-colored tribulation cloud exuded a terrifying bloody aura, death aura, nirvana aura, and abyss aura. It was as if the entire world was enraged, surging with endless fury. Every crimson tribulation cloud burned like flames, and the flames shot into the sky. At this moment, many of the abyssal demons finally noticed the situation, and they couldn't help but notice it because the change was too great, reaching an earth-shattering level. After all, the entire abyss world was pitch black all year round. There was only the occasional light, but it was also gray. But now, there were actually crimson clouds in the sky, like a sea of blood. Endless crimson light shone on the ground, seemingly expelling the darkness completely. Many of the abyssal demons saw such a dazzling light for the first time, and it was also the first time they lived under the sunlight. Instantly, they couldn't bear it, and their eyes were almost burned blind. What's going on? Why did a sea of blood suddenly appear in the sky? An abyssal demon was dumbfounded. It had lived in the abyss world for hundreds of thousands of years, but had never experienced such a thing. A sea of blood in the sky was unprecedented. Even some ancient abyssal demons that had lived for millions of years had never heard of such a thing. I feel that this sea of blood represents inauspiciousness. It seems to contain a terrifying calamity power. Once it descends, we will definitely face annihilation. A demon's expression was very ugly. It was extremely sensitive to such calamity power and was proficient in seeking fortune and avoiding calamity. But facing the sea of blood in the sky, it was helpless. This sea of blood was too big, and it couldn't escape in a short time. Damn, I know what's going on with this sea of blood. It's a calamity sea cloud, a blood tribulation cloud. It will send down crimson lightning to destroy everything. This is heaven's tribulation. An ancient demon finally recalled the information of the crimson tribulation cloud from its distant memories. But when it thought of it, its face instantly turned green, and its entire body trembled. Crimson lightning? What's that? Many abyssal demons asked curiously. It's normal that you don't know, because crimson lightning rarely appears. It's also known as world annihilation lightning. If someone didn't do something that angered the laws of the universe, wouldn't be triggered. That ancient demon gritted its teeth and said, but once it's triggered, someone must have done something that triggered a taboo in the universe, causing heaven and earth to be enraged and lightning to destroy the world. Its entire body trembled, and it couldn't hide the fear in its heart. When heaven's tribulation descended, who could survive? It's that human. It must be that human. A demon shouted crazily. We demons don't have the ability to trigger this crimson lightning. That damn human must have done something taboo to trigger such a terrifying heaven's tribulation. It immediately noticed that the human in front of it was in the core of the tribulation cloud. F***CK, what did that human do? Why did he trigger the crimson lightning? Damn, I knew that humans are *T-sters. They don't do anything good and harm others and themselves. They're scourges of the universe. They're even more terrifying than us abyssal demons. What should we do now? Should we escape? If the crimson lightning descends, even if we aren't the ones suffering from heaven's tribulation, we might still be implicated and treated as accomplices. How can we escape? This crimson tribulation cloud is boundless, and I can't see the end. Where can we escape to? At the very least, we have to stay far away from that bastard human. The closer we get to him, the more terrifying the lightning tribulation will be. Chapter 1945. The ninth underworld demon, Sky Heart Demon, and Bright Sun Demon also noticed the situation. They were the strongest, so they could naturally sense the terror of the blood-colored thunderclouds in the sky. There was an indescribable terror in the depths of the clouds. If it descended, it would definitely be a world-destroying energy. Even though they were top-tier great demons, they would not be able to withstand the scarlet lightning. Not to mention, the heavenly tribulation itself restrained the power of great demons. It would greatly weaken their resistance. Damn it! The Bright Sun Demon's eyes flickered. It was unwilling to give up. It wanted to immediately rush up and devour the human, so that it could immediately strengthen its origin energy. The problem was that the human was at the center of the heavenly tribulation. The heavenly tribulation was clearly coming for him. If it rushed in recklessly, it would definitely be treated as a target for the heavenly tribulation. When that happened, it might even be struck to death by the scarlet lightning. For a moment, it was in a dilemma and did not know what to do. As for the Sky Heart Demon, it was extremely fearful. In terms of unpredictability, it was definitely second to none. It was a demon that countless living beings feared. The problem was that it was weaker than all the other great demons in the face of the heavenly tribulation. The ninth underworld demon also felt waves of fear. This was the instinctive fear of the heavenly tribulation. It was engraved deep in its genes. It also wanted to escape immediately. However, the other great demons did not move, so it was too embarrassed to run now. As a top-tier great demon and the future leader of the great demons, it still had its pride. The appearance of such a huge blood-colored tribulation cloud even if it was in the deepest part of the demon continent, suddenly attracted the attention of the elders of the Lingyun sect, Five Elements sect, Gui Yuan sect, and Flying Immortal sect who stayed in the demon continent. They were originally sitting cross-legged, but when they sensed the aura of the tribulation cloud, they immediately stood up. What's going on? When did this blood-colored tribulation cloud appear? Why does it seem to emit an ominous aura? The soaring cloud sect's elder had a solemn expression. He could sense the extremely terrifying aura of the blood-colored tribulation cloud. Even though the tribulation cloud was extremely far away, it still made him feel extremely threatened. It was as if he would be struck to death by the tribulation lightning if he got any closer. This is scarlet lightning, the heavenly tribulation lightning. It is a tribulation that will only appear when the heavenly tribulation lightning touches the taboo laws of the universe. How can it appear now? The Five Elements sect's elder had a deep understanding of all kinds of heavenly tribulation lightning. He immediately knew that this was scarlet lightning. But the more he knew, the more confused he was. He didn't know why he appeared in the demon continent. Could it be that a tyrannical, peerless demon is about to be born in the depths of the demon continent, but because that demon is too monstrous, even the heavens want to kill it? The Gui Yuan sect elder guessed. If that's the case, it's terrifying. The birth of such a demon from the abyss is probably not a blessing for us humans. Maybe there will be another demon saint. The elder of the Flying Immortal sect had a grave expression on his face. What can we do? This is the abyss, and we can't do anything about it. We can only resign ourselves to fate. Maybe that demon was killed by the heavenly tribulation. The Gui Yuan sect elder waved his hand. It's not impossible, but we should be careful this time. If something goes wrong, we must evacuate all the disciples immediately. We can't let them die in vain in this place. The Lingyun sect elder felt that he had to be vigilant at all times. If the tribulation cloud came to this edge, he might have to use the power of the Tianji list to teleport all the disciples away from this dangerous place. By the way, where is fellow Taoist Xia? We have to inform him about this as soon as possible. The Five Elements sect elder remembered the existence of Xia Ping. I tried to contact him just now, but I couldn't get in touch with him. I don't know where he went. The Flying Immortal sect elder wondered. It's impossible for him to not notice such a big blood-colored tribulation cloud. Did he sneak in to observe? It's not impossible, but if it's true, then this action is too reckless. That's the base camp of the demons. Going in is suicide. The Gui Yuan sect elder shook his head. Forget it. This is fellow Taoist Xia's decision. We can't stop him. We can only hope that he's fine. The Flying Immortal sect elder waved his hand and didn't want to pay too much attention to this kind of thing. After all, Xia Ping was not a member of their Flying Immortal sect. Heavenly Mystery Board. Is communication with the outside world smooth now? The Five Elements sect elder contacted the sacred Heavenly Mystery Board. There's no problem. As long as we give the order, we can immediately teleport all the disciples away. The Heavenly Mystery Board's voice sounded. Very good. Then we'll see how the situation changes. If it's too dangerous, we'll leave immediately. We can't let these young disciples die under such a natural disaster. The Five Elements sect elder said solemnly. Yes, I'll keep an eye on it. The Heavenly Mystery Board said. At the edge of the demonic continent, on a mountain peak, Su Ji, Jiang Yaru, Chu Rong, and Yu Qiqi appeared here. They were all at the treasure refining realm. Hunting demons at the edge of this continent was like a fish in water. After all, the abyssal demons at the edge of the continent weren't very strong. Only in the center of the continent would there be abyssal demons at the True Fire realm or even the Golden Core realm. At this moment, they also noticed the blood-colored tribulation cloud that had suddenly appeared in the distant sky. What's going on with that blood-colored cloud? Isn't it a bit too big? It's practically boundless. Yu Qiqi exclaimed when she saw the blood-colored tribulation cloud. I can sense an ominous aura from the depths of that blood-colored cloud. We can't go near it, or we'll definitely die. Jiang Yaru said solemnly. She was very sensitive to danger. I wonder what happened to the demons in the depths of this continent. Such a terrifying blood-colored cloud actually appeared. The demonic continent is really too dangerous. Fortunately, we're only staying at the periphery. Chu Rong rejoiced. Could it be that Xia Ping is in that place? It said that that bastard became an observer and also entered the demonic continent. Maybe that blood-colored cloud was created by him. Suji guessed. It can't be. No matter how unscrupulous that bastard is, no matter how unscrupulous, no matter how condescending, this is the base camp of the abyssal demons. At this point, Jiang Yaru suddenly remembered Xia Ping's character. The corner of her mouth twitched. All right, I admit it. According to that bastard's character, it's not impossible. There's nothing he wouldn't dare to do. Don't worry so much. Let's just quickly kill these low-level demons and earn points. Even if this was done by that bastard, there's nothing we can do. Chu Rong waved her hand. You're right. Yu Qiqi also felt the same way. It was more important for them to complete this trial as soon as possible. Chapter 1946. Rumble. More and more blood-colored tribulation clouds appeared in the sky, and the clouds became thicker and thicker. At first, they were only a few hundred meters thick, but as time passed, they became tens of thousands of meters thick, almost solidifying. The huge blood-colored cloud surged like mercury, constantly tumbling, like a giant dragon turning over its body. With Xia Ping as the center, the blood-colored clouds in the sky formed a huge vortex that kept spinning, as if the sky had turned into a black hole that would devour everything. All the demons in the abyss could sense how terrifying the power of the heavenly tribulation was in the depths of the vortex. The entire sky had cracked at this moment, and densely packed cracks appeared. These cracks were connected to the depths of the dimension, and the huge power of the heavenly tribulation gushed out from the depths of the dimension. Each crack in the sky was thousands of kilometers long, as if it had torn the sky in half. It was extremely terrifying. What a terrifying heavenly tribulation, scarlet lightning. Just looking at it makes me tremble in fear. A demon lamented as he looked at the tribulation clouds gathering in the sky. I wonder what that human did to actually trigger the heavenly tribulation. I guess even a demon at the peak of the thunder tribulation realm can't trigger such a terrifying heavenly tribulation. Who knows what that human did? Anyway, the human is dead for sure. We don't even need to do anything. He will be directly struck to death by the scarlet lightning and turned into ashes. That's right. Fortunately, it's not targeting us. Otherwise, we would be in danger too. That kid was so arrogant. He even boasted in front of us, saying that we were the worst batch of demons. Now he's in big trouble. Therefore, people shouldn't speak carelessly, or they will be punished by heaven. Many demons were discussing and rejoicing. Fortunately, the scarlet lightning was targeting that damned human. Otherwise, it would bode ill for them. At the same time, they were gloating and happy to see the human suffer. Wait, something's not right. What is that human trying to do? He's flying towards us. Some demons immediately noticed the human's actions and quickly became vigilant. They didn't know what that kid was trying to do. Many demons also noticed the situation. They even realized that as the human moved, the huge blood-colored tribulation clouds seemed to be moving slowly as well, following him like a shadow. This sort of situation instantly terrified them to the point their souls almost flew out of their bodies. They trembled with fear and faintly felt that the situation was bad. Stop right there, human. What are you trying to do? This is the territory of us demons. It's a forbidden area. Leave now, or we'll kill you immediately. An abyssal demon shouted angrily, stopping Xia Ping's actions. Brother Yaomao, it can be said that we don't get to know each other after a fight. As the saying goes, everyone within the 4 seas is a brother. When a brother is in trouble, everyone will come to his aid. Xia Ping shouted, I would like to invite everyone to help me get through this heavenly tribulation. Once it is done, I will definitely repay you. Save your ass. Get lost. Get lost. Get lost. I knew this shameless human was up to no good. He even wanted us to help him get through the heavenly tribulation. Why didn't you eat sh*t? We are demons from the abyss, mortal enemies of humans. Why will we help you? Just give up. You said that all are brothers within the 4 seas. Just now, When you were killing us abyssal demons, why didn't you say you were brothers? Now that you're in trouble, suffering the wrath of heaven, you want to call us brothers? So this brother's the one who stabbed me in the back. I knew that humans were all sinister and ruthless. I didn't expect you to be so shameless. How could you say such things? You even said that you would repay us after the matter is done. Repay your ass. If we really help you get through the heavenly tribulation, most of us will die. How can there be any demons to ask for repayment? Shameless human, get lost immediately. Don't cause trouble here. Otherwise, before the heavenly tribulation arrives, we will kill you first. You'd better behave yourself. Don't make a mistake. Many abyssal demons cursed loudly, spittle flying everywhere. Even if they used their knees to think, they wouldn't agree to this human's shameless request. If that's the case, then there's nothing to talk about. Why do you have to be so heartless? As the saying goes, one more friend is one more way out. With a friend like me, I can guarantee that you will be successful in the future. Xiaoping spread his hands. He still wanted to talk. But at this moment, he looked up and discovered that the red tribulation clouds in the sky could no longer hold back. The huge tribulation power and the lightning power had reached the critical point. Boom! In an instant, in the red vortex in the sky, tens of thousands of bright red lightning bolts fell from the sky, covering a radius of 3,000 kilometers. Every bright red lightning bolt was the size of a 100-year-old tree. They were like coiling dragons, whistling and tearing the void, containing a destructive aura. Just the energy of such a red lightning bolt could easily penetrate a planet. Universal Dharma Idol, Tao Dai. With a single thought, Xia Ping channeled the arcane energy in his body. A Dharma idol of heaven and earth emerged from the ground, transforming into a Tao Tai. It opened its mouth wide and swallowed all the red thunderbolts around him. Instantly, hundreds of red lightning bolts wreaked havoc in the Tao Ye's dimension. They were like dragons crashing everywhere, producing terrifying vibrations and exploding powerful collision forces. But under the power of the Tao Tai, it was of no use. After a few breaths, the red lightning was immediately swallowed and refined by the Tao Tai. Whoosh! Xiaoping felt a huge amount of lightning essence surging into his body. It was the energy of the bright red lightning. Countless small lightning bolts wandered in his body and crackled. At the same time, the lightning essence surged into the universal Dharma idol in the depths of his sea of consciousness, Kuei. After absorbing the lightning energy, the Kuei's body seemed to become more solid. Some red runes also appeared on the surface of its body, as if there was bright red lightning wandering around in its body. But the group of abyssal demons near Xiaoping were not so lucky. They were not as strong as Xiaoping, nor were they proficient in the Tao Ye's devouring magic power. They were not even fast enough to dodge. As a result, they were bombarded by bolts of bright red lightning while they were still standing in their original spots. The abyssal demons let out shrill screams like pigs being slaughtered. They could finally feel the horror of the bright red lightning. This was the real heavenly tribulation lightning. When the bright red lightning entered their bodies, the strong bodies that they were proud of were of no help at all. They were easily penetrated, and the lightning spread throughout their bodies. At the same time, the bright red lightning contained the power of heavenly punishment. It was a great nemesis to the abyssal demon Qi in their bodies. Once inside, the huge amount of abyssal demon Qi in their bodies melted. But the abyssal demon Qi was the foundation that the abyssal demons relied on to survive. It was like a source of energy. Now that it was being destroyed by the bright red lightning, it was no less than someone using a knife to cut off their flesh piece by piece. Such pain could not be described with words. Boom. Chapter 1947. Human. F***CK your mother. Some abyssal demons cursed. They were so angry that they wanted to tear Xiaoping into pieces and skin him alive. They finally understood that this damned human had suddenly approached them in order to let them share the pressure of the heavenly tribulation, so that they would also be covered by the heavenly tribulation. Because they were abyssal demons, Their bodies contained pure yin demonic energy, while the heavenly tribulation contained pure yang tribulation energy. The two sides were mutually reinforcing and mutually restraining. Simply put, they were equivalent to lightning rods. If Xia Ping wasn't the one undergoing the tribulation, the first thing the heavenly tribulation would do would be to kill them. Even though he was the one undergoing the tribulation now, when the lightning descended, a portion of the tribulation lightning would unknowingly be attracted by the abyssal demons and strike them. This would imperceptibly help Xia Ping share a portion of the power of the tribulation. There was no doubt that this damned human was planning to use them as scapegoats. Perhaps this human had suddenly entered the abyss world and even came to their base camp. His original goal was to use them as scapegoats. Despicable and shameless human, you actually want to use us as scapegoats. You're F*King shameless. Even the abyssal demons aren't as despicable as you, not as insidious, not as shameless as you. As a human almighty, you actually did such a thing. Do you still have conscience? If we die because of you, we won't let you off even if we become ghosts. Even if we become vengeful spirits, we will crawl out from the depths of hell and find you to take revenge. Many of the abyssal demons cursed. They hated Xia Ping to the extreme. If they had the chance, they would want to tear this damned human to shreds. What joy is there in life? What bitterness is there in death? Xia Ping had a compassionate expression. You're really alive now, but are you really dead now if you die now? How do you know that dying now isn't the beginning of a new life? Those demon brothers seemed to have been killed by the lightning tribulation, but in fact, they had just returned to the embrace of the void of the universe, waiting for the next beginning of a new life. I'm not killing them by doing this. I'm just giving them a new life, a choice to start afresh. Why do you still insist on going about things the wrong way? Can't you see through life and death? His body emitted boundless Buddhist light, blooming with the light of wisdom, as if he was going to deliver all living beings from suffering. F***CK. If I'm not alive right now, am I dead? Damn, this human's mouth can turn black into white and death into life. So we have to thank you for letting us die? Return to the embrace of the cosmic void. Why don't you return? What the hell are you looking at? F***King human, I'll give you a new life right now. The group of abyssal demons was instantly enraged. They had clearly caused the deaths of so many of their demon brothers. But in the mouth of this human, it wasn't causing their deaths, but giving them a new life. Now that he said that, the dead demon brothers had to thank him. They had never seen such a shameless human. Instantly, many abyss demons were enraged. They charged forward, wanting to tear Xia Ping to shreds. However, they had only just taken a step forward when the crimson lightning in the sky descended once again. This time, it was twice as terrifying as before, and the area it covered had doubled, covering a radius of 6,000 kilometers. The number of lightning bolts had also doubled. 20,000 bolts of bright red lightning had descended at once. This was to be expected, because this time, Xia Ping had suffered 81 waves of lightning tribulation. Each wave was more terrifying than the one before. When it reached the 81st wave, its power was unimaginable. Dong dong dong. The thousands of abyss demons that had tried to approach Xia Ping didn't know what was happening. They were struck by the crimson lightning, as though they were bathed in a sea of lightning. They couldn't help but scream as the terrifying crimson lightning invaded their bodies. In an instant, these abyss demons were all killed, reduced to a pile of ash. As for Xia Ping, he was still standing unscathed in the middle of the sea of lightning. In fact, because he had devoured a portion of the lightning essence, his aura had grown a little stronger. Countless lightning snakes swam through his body. Seeing the calm and composed Xia Ping, many of the abyss demons were enraged. This heavenly tribulation was clearly targeting this damned human, but he was unharmed. But the abyss demons, had suffered heavy losses. Who knew how many had died? This made them even more infuriated, and they hated Xia Ping to the core. But now they didn't have time to curse this shameless human, because they could clearly sense that the next wave of lightning tribulation was descending. There was almost no time in between. Retreat, retreat immediately. Don't tangle with this human. That's right. The heavenly tribulation is targeting this damned human. As long as we escape from the heavenly tribulation, this kid will naturally be struck to death by the heavenly tribulation. Right? We don't have to fight to the death with him. He's just a dead person. Many of the Abyss demons immediately made a decision. They were also cowards. Seeing the outcome of those Abyss demons, they decided to flee immediately. So. In an instant, these Abyss demons scattered and fled in all directions. They were extremely fast. Still want to flee? Xiaoping couldn't let these Abyss demons flee. It wasn't easy to drag some Abyss demons down with him. If they all fled, how could they help him share the pressure of the heavenly tribulation? With a thought, he immediately took out a Dharma treasure, the inferior grade sage artifact, the whirling prayer beads. Xiaoping circulated his Dharma power, and a huge amount of Dharma power surged into the depths of the whirling prayer beads. Immediately, he activated the profound arrays in the depths of the whirling prayer beads. Boom! Immediately, a kingdom of Buddha was projected from the depths of the whirling prayer beads. It covered a radius of billions of kilometers and completely enveloped the world within sight. Rays of golden light appeared and shrouded the area like an eggshell. It turned a radius of billions of kilometers into a kingdom of Buddha. Countless Buddhist runes flashed, and golden runes filled the sky. These golden energy shields were extremely sturdy, as though they had formed a domain. Bang, bang, bang! Those Abyss demons that attempted to flee crashed into the golden energy shields. It was as though they had crashed into an iron wall. Instantly, their heads were bleeding and they let out shrill cries. Even some of the stronger Abyss demons were dizzy from the impact, because the speed at which they fled was really too fast. The appearance of this golden energy shield was like a high-speed sports car suddenly crashing into a steel wall. Chapter 1948. Low-grade Sage Artifact. This bastard human actually has a low-grade Sage Artifact. Some abyssal demons immediately recognized that treasure as the human's famous Sage Artifact. It was precisely because of the power of the Sage Artifact that it could stop them from escaping. No matter how strong the abyssal demons were, they seemed to be trapped in this Buddha kingdom. In fact, in the immemorial era, the humans could defeat these abyssal demons because they had all sorts of powerful treasures that could allow them to display combat power that was several times, or even dozens of times stronger than themselves. After all, the bodies of the abyssal demons, their bloodline mystiques, and so on, far surpassed the human race. Without the help of treasures, there was no way they could fight back. But this also made the abyssal demons extremely fearful of the human race's treasures. They were furious. Damn it. What is this human trying to do? What's the point of trapping us? Do you even need to ask? That bastard's goal is obvious. He clearly wants to use us as scapegoats. He wants us to share the pressure of the heavens' tribulation. He wants to drag us down with him. Despicable. It's fine if he dies, but he wants to drag us down with him. Shameless slut. What are you talking about? What dodge asterisk T Sage Artifact? Break it immediately and escape from here. It's useless. This golden energy barrier is too strong. We probably can't break it in a short period of time. We will need at least 3 days to break it. F asterisk asterisk K. 3 days? If we have that time, we will be long dead. We will be struck to death by the lightning tribulation. How can we wait that long? Stop joking. Many abyssal demons gritted their teeth. They tried to break the Buddha kingdom of the whirling prayer beads, but found that the golden energy barrier was extremely sturdy and contained Buddha scriptures. Once they landed on it, golden scriptures would appear, and countless runes would circulate, easily blocking their demonic arts. These powers couldn't harm the energy barrier at all. Without a doubt, they were indeed trapped in this Buddha kingdom. In the blink of an eye, 100,000 bolts of red lightning descended, covering a radius of 12,000 kilometers. The surrounding abyssal demons couldn't dodge in time and were struck. Dong, dong, dong. Immediately, tens of thousands of abyssal demons were struck to death. Their bodies shattered and turned to dust. Bastard, Fight it out with this human. That's right. Since we can't leave, we can only fight him to the death. That human is the crux of the problem. As long as we kill him, all our problems will be solved. The heavenly tribulation will automatically dissipate, and we will be able to live. Kill. Kill this human. The numerous abyssal fiendish demons had been forced into a desperate situation. They couldn't escape, so the only thing they could do now was to fight to the death with this human. Once this brat was completely eliminated, everything would be over. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. In the blink of an eye, the bear fiend, six-armed lion fiend, three-eyed bear fiend, giant serpent fiend, bronze blaze fiend, hypervenom fiend, and all the other abyssal demons were going crazy. Instantly, rays of terrifying black energy shot over one after another. They intertwined with each other, forming an energy tide that surged over violently, threatening to engulf everything. This was the fury of over 1 million abyssal demons. It could almost flip the heavens and earth and tear apart the stars. Even a peak thunder tribulation realm mighty figure would be instantly obliterated in the face of such a demonic divine ability. Not even their bones would be left. Come on, scepter of glory, chaos. With a thought, another treasure flew out of Xia Ping's body. It was a medial-grade sacred artifact he had obtained from the angel race, Scepter of Glory. The scepter floated in front of Xia Ping, spinning slowly. It received Xia Ping's immense spiritual power, and the entire scepter trembled, releasing boundless white light. Rumble. From the Scepter of Glory, beams of white holy light burst out. The amount of holy light was unimaginable. It had already exceeded 1 million beams. Countless beams of holy light rained down, bombarding the bodies of the abyssal demons. The bodies of the abyssal demons didn't resist at all. The white holy light easily entered their bodies and seeped into the depths of their minds. In the next second, the group of abyssal demons was dumbfounded. Illusory images of angels appeared in their minds, using holy light to purify the evil thoughts in their bodies, expelling and purifying all the demonic qi. Instantly, they fell into complete chaos. They couldn't differentiate between friend and foe, and their divine abilities bombarded in all directions. This was the terror of the Scepter of Glory. It could use large-scale mental interference and mind control. Creatures with weaker mental power were directly controlled. Even creatures with strong mental power would fall into a certain period of confusion when facing the Scepter of Glory's attack. Their minds would go blank, and they wouldn't know what was happening. Bang, bang, bang. Immediately, the many abyssal demons started to be unlucky. They fell into chaos for no reason and actually attacked their own people. Instantly, the surrounding demons were all attacked. Some weaker abyssal demons were immediately killed. Their corpses were all smashed into pieces. Refined. Xia Ping used the divine ability to devour souls. With his body as the center, a huge whirlpool formed. The soul energy left behind by the dead abyssal demons also quickly surged into his body. After a few breaths, the soul energy quickly condensed into soul crystals. He was really happy to do this, because the soul energy left behind on this battlefield was too great. There were powerful abyssal demons dying at every moment. They were struck to death by the bright red lightning. Otherwise, they would be killed by their fellow demons who couldn't differentiate between friend and foe. If he had to do it himself, he would probably need to spend a certain amount of time to kill a powerful abyssal demon. But it was different now. With the power of heaven's retribution, these abyssal demons died easier than ants. And the Scepter of Glory's confusion effect only lasted for 3 seconds. Many abyssal demons also quickly regained consciousness. But when they realized what they had just done, they all went crazy. What's going on? Why did I attack my own people for no reason? It's that human. That human did it just now. What did that bastard do to us? Sage artifact. He took out another sage artifact. That sage artifact seems to have the ability to interfere with souls. It can make us fall into a state of confusion and unable to differentiate between friend and foe. Damn it. What's wrong with this human? Didn't they say sage artifacts are very rare treasures in the human world? Why can this kid casually take out 2 of them? That's too strange. What should we do? He has 2 sage artifacts on him. How can we get close? Chapter 1949. Originally, these abyssal demons thought that killing this human was in the bag. After all, facing the attack of so many demons, even a demon overlord would not be able to withstand it and would instantly turn to dust. Who would have thought that this human would have such a strange treasure that could attack as a group, causing them to be in chaos? This greatly reduced the power of their joint attack. In this situation, they were immediately at a loss of what to do. Now, they could not escape. Even if they wanted to join forces to kill this human, the problem was that this brat had the glory scepter and could easily break their joint attack. Before they could even get close to this brat, their consciousness would be taken away by the glory scepter again. If that was the case, their plan to get close to this human was not to kill him, but to seek their own deaths. You demons are overestimating yourselves. Xiaoping stood with his hands behind his back. Even the heavenly tribulation cannot kill me. How can trash like you have such power? Know your place, okay? Obediently become cannon fodder to attract the power of the heavenly tribulation. Maybe when the heavenly tribulation ends, some of you can live. If you continue to resist stubbornly like this, you might even die. Why seek your own deaths? He tried to persuade the abyss demons out of goodwill. F***CK. Just now you were acting cool and saying we were brothers. Now you've finally shown your true colors. As expected, he wants us to be cannon fodder to attract the firepower for him. This F***king human is shameless. Shameless human, do such a wicked thing. Doesn't your conscience feel uneasy? But hearing these words, the group of abyssal demons was infuriated. They knew that this bastard human had finally revealed his true colors. He wanted to use the abyssal demons as scapegoats. But thinking of this, they became even angrier. They actually could not do anything to him. Stupid human, you are too arrogant. This is the abyss world, the territory of us abyssal demons. It is not a place for a puny human like you to behave atrociously. At this moment, a terrifying and indescribable voice rang out, shaking the heavens and earth. A gigantic black shadow appeared in front of all the abyssal demons. It was like a 10,000 zhang tall mountain, exuding a terrifying abyssal aura, the aura of the 9 underworlds. It was the overlord of the abyssal demons, the 9 underworlds demon. At this moment, it could not hold back anymore. It wanted to personally attack and kill this damned human. Dong! Tens of bolts of red lightning struck the 9 netherworld demons' body, but the 9 netherworld demons' body only trembled a bit before all the bolts of red lightning dissipated, unable to deal much damage to it. Perhaps there would be injuries, but for a 9 underworld demon with a 9 underworld body, it was nothing. Seeing this, the abyss demons were overjoyed. They finally saw the light of victory. This was because netherworld demons were different from ordinary abyssal demons. They were born from the netherworld abyss, and their bodies were filled with the power of the netherworld. Netherworld astral gale. In an instant, the netherworld demon attacked. With its body as the center, it created a terrifying current of air, as if it was a spatial hurricane born from the universe. This was the 9 nether astral wind that originated from the 9 nether region. It was a terrifying airflow that was enough to blow any expert below the Thunder Tribulation realm to death and turn them into ashes. Even if a Thunder Tribulation realm expert encountered the netherworld astral wind, they would either die or be injured. This was because the astral wind not only harmed the body, but could also destroy the soul, causing double damage. It was indestructible. Whoosh! When the wind blew, the airflow turned into a black astral wind that contained terrifying netherworld energy. It emitted an aura of destruction, corrosion, cutting, and so on. The airflow quickly turned into saber chi, covering the sky and covering the earth. Within a radius of hundreds of millions of kilometers, there were black saber lights. No demon could clearly count how many black saber lights there were in the entire world. They could only see that the world was filled with them, as if the land was on the verge of collapse under the black saber lights. The entire land was easily cut open by the astral wind, and countless ravines appeared. It was as if the entire demon continent was being torn apart by the netherworld astral wind. Many abyssal demons were scared half to death, because the black saber lights couldn't differentiate between friend and foe. If they stayed near the saber lights, they would be easily cut in half by the black saber lights. They were so scared that they fled in all directions, so as not to fall into the battle between the two peerless experts and be implicated. Holy light illumination. Xiaoping waved the glory scepter and pointed it at the void. Rumble. Suddenly, thousands of beams of holy light bombarded down, as if turning the entire area into a world of light. The world of angels was enough to purify all the darkness and filth in this world. Vaguely, there seemed to be countless angels appearing in the abyss world. They held scepters, bemoaned the state of the universe, and shone with holy light. They were praising the greatness of the Lord, and countless poems were sung. The holy light also bombarded the netherworld astral wind. The two forces collided fiercely, and a rumbling sound rang out. Both sides had reached the pinnacle of power, and no one could do anything to the other. Suddenly, they were annihilated and disappeared into nothingness. Damn it! This is the sacred artifact of the angel clan. It has a great restraining effect on us abyssal demons. Aren't you a human? Why do you have the artifact of the angel clan? The netherworld demon's pupils shrank. He didn't expect the scepter to be so powerful. Even the netherworld astral wind he had triggered could be easily resisted. It was extremely terrifying. You don't need to know that. The dead don't need to know anything. Glory scepter, holy light punishment. Xiaoping held the glory scepter and pointed it at the netherworld demon. Boom! Instantly, a thick white holy light burst out from the top of the glory scepter. This holy light was boundlessly terrifying. It contained the aura of rejection, destruction, and annihilation. It was a power that could punish everything. This was also the glory scepter's strongest attack. It was like a laser, and it arrived in an instant. Whoosh! In an instant, this light of punishment arrived from afar and tore through the void. Countless angel runes gathered in the depths of this holy light, containing boundless energy. Damn it! The netherworld demon's hair stood on end as he felt the impending danger of death. This light of punishment was extremely terrifying, and it targeted the soul. If his body was hit by this light, his soul would instantly collapse, and even a saint wouldn't be able to save him. Netherworld transformation, illusory and real are mine, netherworld body. In an instant, the netherworld demon used the divine ability within his body, and his entire body turned illusory. He turned into a phantom, and a netherworld astral wind immediately escaped. He had actually escaped from the light of punishment at this critical moment. However, the abyssal demons behind the netherworld demon were not so lucky, and they were brushed by the light of punishment. Chapter 1950. You actually dodged it? Xiaoping raised his brows and looked at the 9 underworld demon in surprise. The other party was indeed worthy of being one of the demon overlords. Its ability to change between real and illusory was extraordinary and could not be underestimated. If it transformed into the 9 underworld body, ordinary Thunder Retribution Realm experts would not be able to kill it and would even be slaughtered by the 9 underworld demon. In fact, the 9 underworld demon was famous for being ferocious and had killed countless humans. Once it appeared, rivers of blood would flow and corpses would be everywhere. Haha, foolish human, you can't kill me, the 9 underworld demon, even if you have a sane artifact. The 9 underworld demon said proudly, my 9 underworld body is illusory and exists between real and illusory. Ordinary power cannot harm my body. No matter how hard you try, you will not be able to harm me, the 9 underworld demon. But you are different. As long as you make a mistake, I, the 9 underworld demon, will take advantage of it and easily kill you. You will definitely lose this battle. No one will be able to save you. It exerted enormous pressure on Xiaoping and threatened him. It thought that it was already in an invincible position. as expected of the 9 underworld demon, making this human suffer with one move. It seems that there is no need for the heavenly tribulation to kill this human. Lord 9 underworld demon alone can easily end his life. Human, do you see this? This is the demon overlord of our abyss world. It is not something a human tramp like you can resist. Quickly go to hell and repent. You actually dare to come to our abyss world and show off your strength. You don't even know how to write the word death. The demons were overjoyed. They could not wait to see this human die. As long as this human died, the heavenly tribulation would naturally disperse, and they would be completely safe. Human, surrender. Kneel down and beg for mercy. Become my slave, and perhaps I can still give you a chance to live. Otherwise, you will die without a burial place today. Even a saint will not be able to save you. The 9 underworld demon shouted wildly and continuously attacked Xia Ping's confidence, trying to subdue him without a fight. Fool, you became so arrogant just because you dodged a move. I have many ways to kill you. Xia Ping made a grabbing motion, and another magic treasure appeared in his hand. It was the reincarnation brush. The reincarnation brush trembled, and countless runes flickered on its body. Indistinctly, there seemed to be an illusory image of the great Tao of reincarnation revolving slowly, emitting a mysterious, ancient, and tyrannical aura. The void space trembled. In an instant, the brush lightly tapped the air, and a terrifying sharpness blasted out. It was like a ray of cold light that suddenly appeared in the darkness, tearing through the void. What is this? Immediately, the 9 darkness demon's hair stood on end as he felt that this sharp light was a great threat to him. It was as if this cold light could tear through everything, pierce through space, and even pull souls into the 6 paths of reincarnation. Sun and moon, heaven and earth, yin and yang rotate, 9 nether formless. Sensing this fatal crisis, the netherworld demon continuously used its innate ability and turned into a strand of black smoke as it instantly disappeared into the void. It was as if it was hiding in a different dimension. But in the next second, that ray of cold light directly tore through the void and seemed to penetrate its very essence, bombarding the body of the 9 underworlds. Immediately, the 9 darkness demon let out a shrill scream as it was dismembered and cut in half. Blood dripped everywhere, and endless pain spread out, shaking even its soul. Impossible! The 9 netherworld demon could not believe his eyes and couldn't help shrieking. My 9 netherworld body is invincible. It's an ethereal body. This is a supreme power that surpasses everything. How can your power harm my body? What kind of magic treasure is this? Why does it have the power to harm my 9 underworld body? It was insane. The 9 darkness demon believed that it stood at the peak of the universe. Other than saints, nobody could kill it. Even if they could defeat it, they couldn't kill it. Because it could escape at any time, nobody could do anything to it, and nobody could harm its essence. But now, this human in front of it was holding a strange brush. With a light tap, its 9 underworld's body was torn apart, and even its soul was heavily injured. It couldn't help but feel a trace of fear of death, and it was no longer as confident as before. However, being able to harm the 9 underworld's body was normal. The power of the reincarnation brush surpassed everything. It belonged to the essence of power, and it was extremely pure. It could split reincarnation, yin and yang, and cause and effect. Even though it was now sealed, it still contained a sharp power that could cut through all matter in this world. Even illusory matter could be easily cut in half. This was the power of the sharpest magic treasure in the universe. Noisy. Who told you that the 9 underworld's body is invincible? You're really a frog at the bottom of a well. Xia Ping didn't waste any words. He lightly jabbed out with his brush again, and several sharp lights blasted out with the speed of a clap of thunder. They were unstoppable and unstoppable. Facing this attack, even if the 9 darkness demon was at its peak, it wouldn't be able to escape, let alone now that it was heavily injured. Its strength had been reduced by more than half. So how could it escape? Immediately, The Nine Darkness demon let out a miserable shriek. Its body, which had already been cut in half, was struck by the cold light and instantly broke into more than 10 pieces. Blood flowed everywhere. But this time, it couldn't live anymore. It couldn't say anything because even its soul had been torn into more than 10 pieces. It could never recover. Just like that, the famous netherworld demon of the abyss world was killed on the spot. Xia Ping grabbed with his hand and immediately grabbed all of the 9 underworld demons' energy. He compressed it on the spot and quickly condensed it into a fist-sized soul crystal. Without a doubt, the soul energy of a 9 darkness demon was much stronger than ordinary demons. They weren't on the same level. What's going on? The overlord of the demons, the 9 darkness demon, is dead, killed by this human, and broken into more than 10 pieces? It can't even escape? Many demons were dumbfounded. They couldn't believe what they were seeing. Are you joking? The 9 darkness demon is known as an undying demon. Even in the immemorial era, it was impossible to kill a 9 darkness demon without paying a heavy price. How could it be killed by this human? What did this human do to the 9 darkness demon? Impossible, I don't believe this. How could a lowly human kill a 9 darkness demon? Could it be that we, the demons of the abyss, have really declined to such an extent that we can't even stop a puny human? He even slaughtered us in all directions. Even the overlord of the demons isn't his match. Many of the abyssal demons went crazy. This kind of reality toppled all of their beliefs, especially when a peak demon like the 9 underworld demon died in Xiaoping's hands. This greatly intimidated the other demons, causing them to lose all their courage.